It's in.
This is the February 10th meeting of the Facein Planning Commission meeting at the Facein Town offices at 5:30. All members of the commission are present. And zoning administrator Jason Wilson is here. And we're being recorded. Are there any modifications to tonight's agenda? Or Rick's? Item 3, approval of the December 13th.
I move that we approve the minutes of December 13th,
I mean, January 13th.
January 13th,
Those
sorry.
are misprint in the agenda. January 13th, approval of the January 13th minutes.
I
I
have.
believe
some-
Mike will have something.
We should actually have a second before there's discussion.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know if anybody cares, but
Yeah, we should. Second? Anyone second it?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Discussion on approval of the January 13th minutes.
so I guess I don't understand this little thing that just happened.
Oh, so you,
it's
yeah,
Robert's rules.
Yeah, but I don't understand it. So if you could explain it to me. I thought the question was, does anybody have any comments?
And the comments really officially shouldn't happen till after there's a second.
But does the second mean it's been approved?
no, then
No.
we vote after the discussion.
So
No,
what-
it just
what
means
does-
that then you can, then it's open for discussion.
Oh.
Because if nobody seconds it, officially, it's not on the table.
Okay.
I mean, it's really kind of a moot point when it's small like this, but if we're following Robert's rules, we should do it right.
So what's the question about the minutes?
I thought they were really well written. There's very a lot of detail in there. But on the second page, this part here, which is, I think it's L or I, after B. I struggle to understand that.
Oh, okay, I can help you with that. So if you need a residential building energy standards certification. If the building is built by a contractor. But there's an exemption that if you directly, that's taken directly from the regs. If you direct the details of construction regarding the installation materials, it's literally verbatim quote out of what it takes to have that. So you don't have to abide by RBES. Did that
Okay.
make no sense to you? Sorry.
What?
Slow it down,
Slow it down,
slow it down,
After.
like you're explaining it to,
a 6-year-old.
yes,
Okay, so
no.
So basically, there's a problem with global warming and fossil fuels, and there's some concern that we're gonna get low on energy, so all new construction has to be built to a very high standard of installation. So that the homes are very, very efficient. So that's the rules that have been created. However, if you build your own home, like you build your own home. You don't have to hold to that standard. And because of that. To get a certificate of occupancy, you have to have an RBES certification, or you have to fill out a very special form. As the owner who directs the way it's built. I can show you the form if you
Well, I
like.
understand everything you just said.
Okay,
After half an hour. I understand it because I read about this. I
yeah,
actually printed out the form.
wonderful,
Okay, and I read the book.
yes.
But the English in this phrase, to me, was confusing, because it took me a while to figure out.
Point to again, now that
It's the,
It's I.
I,
yeah, I don't understand. why it's-
in case of an owner slash builder,
Yeah,
okay.
read it. The first sentence isn't, to me, is not a complete sentence.
Well, maybe there should be a comma.
So after reading this and
It's
thinking
just,
about
it's
it,
poorly punctuated. There should be a comma after builder. In the case of an owner slash builder, comma, when the owner in fact directs the details of construction regarding the installation of materials not in compliance with RBES, comma, small a Vermont owner builder disclosure statement must be submitted with application of certificate of occupancy so it can be placed on file.
that would work.
It's a large, nasty sentence, but that's English.
Okay,
What is it from the state?
That's directly pulled from.
It is.
It might, there might have been, there
I-
might have been, because it's pulled from, is it pulled from the handbook or is it pulled from statute?
It's pulled from the handbook. I mean, I wrote it and I do have learning disabilities and my punctuation is not the greatest, so for, in that case, I mean, this is gonna go through. We're gonna send it to select board, it's gonna go out to, we should send it clean to select board for
Yes.
voting before it gets put into our
Well, can we pull that
LUR.
up right now?
well, here it is, Freddie.
Right, no, I have this here,
Yeah,
but I'm saying pull it from the state and what is, oh, you've got that.
I did that. So what. I
And
would
what does
suggest-
yours say?
What I would suggest how it words it, what should be worded is. The first one under B, it should be the applicant shall have recorded, comma. Or submit for recording with the application, comma. A certificate as required by 30 VSA section 51. Residential Building Energy Center or 53. Period. The capital T, the RBES, CBES is a requisite to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy. That to me is crystal clear with those 3 punctuations. Then the next item, which should be C. In the case of an owner builder. This is my words that I got from this. In the case of an owner builder, the owner must complete and submit either the Vermont Residential Building Energy Standards Certificate if the home meets the technical requirements of the RBES, or the Vermont Owner Builder Disclosure Statement if it does not.
okay. Did you find the handbook?
Yeah, and I guess under here, so there's just.
But those are your words, not the state's.
Yeah,
words.
it was important to use the state's words, it's kind of where we were at. I understand you don't like reading it, so where is this from?
Well,
No, I got that part. Where did you find this? Where
that's
was
the
it?
RBES. The Residential Building Standards document.
See the comma needed there.
But what does it say in the state statute? I mean, because that's, we're trying to be in compliance.
Here. Number 4.
Oh, but I thought this was copied directly from
It was, I wrote it.
a different
I took it.
document than what Michael has.
Yeah, that's the problem. I took it from a different document than he has, and that's what I'm trying to find. I want it to work.
So here's, if someone wants to read my words, you can see what I suggest doing.
Right, I understand
I
what you're,
just want to
what you
copy the
suggest
state. Can we just
doing.
copy the state?
I thought
That's what
the
I-
goal was to copy what the state was doing. Is that our goal or
It
am I?
it was,
Under, this is the state document.
Can I see that
Yeah,
one?
section 1.4, number 4,
But is the new
RBES.
2020 or
No,
2024?
2024, 10, 17, 24.
basically, though, that document is supposed to be given to the person who buys the house from you. That like discloses that you didn't build it to RBS standards, which you should. And we just made it part of the certificate of occupancy.
Actually, what I'm reading is it needs to go and be, it needs to be in the town clerk. So if you read this top thing, section 1.4, owner builder projects must file one of those documents at the town clerk's office where the home is located. So,
Yes, they get recorded in the land records.
which is, we all agreed.
Which if that hasn't already done, I usually take them with the certificate of installation and then it gets done.
And sometimes people had, which is why we went down this path in the first place. All I'm trying to do, I'm not disagreeing with the essence or.
No, you're just-
I'm trying to get the words clear because it's.
So it makes sense?
Yes. Cause it was hard for me to understand yesterday when I was reading it. It took me a while to figure out.
The applicant shall have recorded. Where did I find that?
Does anybody want to look at the whole document online? I have it right here.
No. I'm, too many cooks spoil the broth. My position is, we cut and paste from the state. Statute.
Right,
Which is what I think I just did.
Good, if that's what you did.
there must be a list of. No, this is the one and it's Michael's changes.
Oh, the statute, it's literally the
Yes.
statute.
Sorry.
Hold on, I took it out of the statute.
So if you do that, it would seem to me that we could copy that verbatim.
The owner in fact directs the details of construction with regard to the installation of materials not in compliance with RBS. So that's what I said. So. What,
Is there a punctuation difference?
Okay, so
it's in the, this is the statute, like I took it from.
I don't, we do gotta get this correct, but this was supposed to be done last month because we approved this. Now we
Yeah.
gotta do this all over again. Just, but this does have to get done, just.
What's it, is there a period or? how-
It's just like, I mean, it's the owner in fact directs, that's what, it's just a one line, it's just one sentence, so. The certificate, case. So.
Yeah.
The owner in fact directs the details of construction with regard to the installation of materials not in compliance with RBS. In the case of an owner builder, when the owner in fact directs the details of construction regarding the installation of materials not in compliance with RBS, that's what I said.
I think when.
Comma, small
I
a.
think the issue is though, is that that's part of a broader context of a whole bunch of things that's saying.
that's actually.
What is this all, Michael?
Yeah,
And then if the owner disposes in writing, did you read this?
Yeah, that's the buyer.
So
But this
my
is-
understanding is we were copying this verbatim from the state.
That's what I thought too.
For the most part, the only thing that we had came up with last, well, he basically pulled it from statute,
But
so.
why is it I instead of C?
Oh,
That-
that's-
Okay, no,
That's,
okay, the I, that's our, you can't do that. Because the I is the, what do you call it?
it's the way, it's like
It's
you
A's.
start, you
Yeah.
start with this and then you move over, if you start at the top of it.
Like an indent.
Yeah, the one,
Like
the
when
A,
you-
the B, the little a, and then it gets down to the little i's, two little I,
I don't
I
know
can't
what
think of what
that's
it's called.
It's
Formatting?
formatting.
Yeah, we had to do this when we were young, you guys. Come on, Andrew, you're young. What is that called?
That was 40 years ago.
When you do an indent,
Come on, Andrew.
I don't know.
The IT guy here.
you know, A. and then-
Yeah, so they, no, the
Not
Section, I don't know, what do lawyers call
Okay.
it?
It's not formatting, it's,
Anyway,
anytime they taught us to take
So how
notes
would-
and stuff.
So this statute
yeah,
here
when you do,
Bullet
is
point, yeah.
a broad thing,
Uh,
okay, so.
when you're
there
laying
is-
out
there
a
is
paper that you're doing.
applicability and exemption, construction
Outline.
in addition to. a
Don't lie, don't lie, that's the word.
The following residential construction shall not be subject to.
So yeah, some of that has to
subject-
change from the state, this is just way our land use regulations as it's
Not-
formats.
Right.
Subject
You
to.
can't, yeah.
Residential construction by
couldn't
owner,
cut and
if
paste
all of the
from
following
the
apply,
statute
all of the
because it would
residential
line up
construction
the
buildings
way
defined in
it's
this section.
It's done.
residential construction
The outline
buildings by the owner.
format of
The
our.
owner, in
land
fact,
use
directs the details of construction with regard to the installation of
I don't
materials
think
not in
my
compliance with
input is
RBS.
necessary here.
Yeah, I mean-
You have to fill out that form. So.
The
What,
problem is we've already approved this, so
We'll just,
we have to go through
Let me see what you
this
wrote
and then
down.
through the minutes and.
he's got
we'll
it?
fix it. It's easy.
Who's got it? You know.
So the biggest issue with that is. Couple of commas is the fact that it's not saying that has to be recorded.
We,
And I,
But you and I talked about that.
I know,
We said
I'm reading
so
it now,
far.
and it went over my head.
I spent
so-
an hour with you in your.
We all
office.
read over this and it went
No,
over.
no,
my
but
head.
like you and I spend an hour talking about this.
You have to understand, when I see this, I already have in the back of my head what it is.
Okay,
So like I know, so that.
So you're skimming it as opposed to,
No, we're skimming it, but I see it, and then I know that that's what we're doing with it.
so basically this clause is only for the Vermont owner builder disclosure statement. If it worked otherwise, you just have an RBS, you'd have an engineer come in and give you an RBS certificate, you have, it would be done, right? But if you wanna be cheap and build your house with paper walls, you gotta fill
wait
out
a
this
minute,
piece of.
wait a
paper.
minute, aren't we all talking about affordable housing? Don't talk about both sides of your mouth there, mister.
No, I love talking about affordable housing, but
Owner builder, when owner.
like basically,
Come.
the only way you can get around RBS standards is to be the owner slash builder. And you have to fill out a disclosure statement saying, I didn't build it to code. You gotta build it to code, I mean. So what do you wanna change it to?
This,
The,
I
The owner-
understand this better, when you have commas here and when it's that.
okay,
I now understand it after a half an hour, but I'm probably gonna forget it. If we leave the words the way they are.
yeah, applicant shall have recorded or submit for recording, alright. So you want to, in the case of an owner builder, the owner must complete and submit either the Vermont Residential Building Energy Standards certificate, if. Well. Either the Vermont.
So do we have a methodology when we're doing stuff like this, so that if one of us is writing something, that it gets fact checked
So the I
before
is,
it comes to us?
the I is the standard formatting of value Rs. I can't tell you why, I have no idea why. And then. The owner must.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
So the owner can't do the residential energy.
So
Only an
maybe
engineer
we
can.
should be,
I'm not,
I mean,
Owner must
we're one of the
complete one
few
of two
planning
documents,
commissions
right
that
here,
does not have a minute
right
taker.
there.
Either the-
oh, we may be doing that.
Standards
It's just,
certificate.
I gotta look at the budget. I didn't do these
Yeah, but
minutes.
that is filled out by.
Maddie.
I went with
Or
Eve,
Or Eve,
who does
yeah.
the select, and I was like, I'm too in on this, and this being said, I was like, let's just. And basically what I told her, I'll do, because she goes to Italy, so I was like, I'll do
A
one of the CRB meetings,
certification
so it turns
May
out.
be issued
budget
by a
neutral.
builder, a licensed
But-
professional engineer, a licensed architect, or an accredited home energy rating organization.
Isn't,
But then
But
she
if
just
it's an
takes
owner
minutes,
builder,
she's
then
not
you
gonna
accept
fact
it.
check this.
Then you fill out
no,
if that happens.
So
The
we
fact-
should
the
have
facts
a
of the matter
you have
methodology
to
that
fill
we
out
are,
the
you know,
owner's-
facts of the matter here is, well, I think.
So there's two documents, owner can only fill out. an owner's
because
disclosure
otherwise
statement.
we're gonna make mistakes.
Oh, we will.
Yeah, that's what this says, but
But
that's,
if we can
I don't know, this is the code, this is.
cut off that
We
possibility.
don't though, that's the thing though,
Oh, that's
this
what
is,
Michael
cause this is such.
I
a-
know, thank God.
This is
for
such a,
Michael. But if,
I glanced over this because. This is what I do, this, so like, I see this, and I've done this, like, I've done it, so I see. So I probably did glance over this I section because I do it, so I know what it's saying. The only thing I think we're really, other than a comma. The only thing we're missing in there is the fact that it needs to be recorded in the land use regulation, or in
in
the
the
land records.
town office, yeah.
So like I mean, somewhere like, I'm honestly looking at it going, that's really besides a comma.
Well, yeah, comma, and then replacing a period with a comma, and then
Yeah,
small a. And,
What's the small a?
Where it's,
because it's gonna just be
After
it's
the
gonna be
comma.
one giant run-on sentence. After RBES, comma, a Vermont owner builder, issued small a.
Oh, okay.
It's not a new sentence, it's just.
It's one continuous long ridiculous sentence.
Yes, it is.
I,
You can break it into two sentences if you want,
that's what I did.
well, but it doesn't.
which is one of the reasons why we ended up here, because we wanted to get rid of the. That was,
It's not a terrible sentence.
we wanted to get rid of the diarrhea, the long.
Yeah,
It's fine, it reads fine.
Statement must be submitted with application so that it can be
recorded.
recorded, right?
But like, it's a requisite of selling a home.
no, some towns don't do it.
Okay, so
No, the owner disclosure statement
Did you read what I wrote?
is just.
To a CO.
Yeah, the
Some towns don't do a
There's
CO.
the Clauses, and that's what I wrote that. as a
So the,
suggestion.
we added RBES to the CO. Why?
because it's state statute.
State statute.
It needs to go into.
If
the
we
town code
issue
section.
COs, we have to, if it required RBS, we have to have the RBS.
Your
in order-
language, is that
in order
from
to
the
issue
state?
CO.
No,
Perfect, yeah, great.
what, but I don't know where that document comes from.
That is the RBES. That's this, yes,
This,
go back up here. Click on,
the handbook?
Something of compliance said at the
Click
bottom.
on that one.
You want to see what my,
Click on that.
Yeah,
He showed me.
Yeah.
I think it was.
That's a handbook.
Pretty clear.
Go to page 9.
Are you on page 9? I thought it was on page 78.
No, no, go to page 9. Rules for, right there. Right there.
Oh, look, it's pretty familiar with 1.3.
Do you want this, Jason?
Yeah, no, I got it, 'cause I know where you got it from. 2024 is what you said, the new.
My point is, I'm happy to give this to you because if everybody agrees to this, I'm fine.
You have, is that what we're gonna write? Yeah, just saying instead of submitted with application.
It's weird because if you read the reg. The actual. Title 30, subchapter 002. VSA, it says. Oh. Sorry, I had it a second ago. So it says issuance, recording, a certification may be issued by a builder, a licensed professional engineer, a licensed architect, or an accredited home energy rating organization, right? Those are the people that can make the certificate that says you're good to go. If you're not good to go, you gotta do this owner disclosure statement. His handbook makes it seem like that the owner can give the totally good to go that the engineer is supposed to do. That's my issue. That the code doesn't say that an owner can issue that certificate, the code says only those 4 people can do it, but the handbook says that the owner can. I think the handbook is not legal, the handbook is just saying. Well, if you're good, you get to an engineer, the engineer makes it, but I'd be remiss if we put that in the LURs.
No, it has to be owner builder.
What? The owner builder can only fill out the. Owner builder disclosure statement.
Oh, you're back on B with the RBS and CBS.
What do you mean?
Are we balancing here?
No, we're talking about I, right? Is that the issue?
Yeah,
He wants to change it to that the owner can either issue the certificate or the owner builder. Disclosure.
The town's the only one who can issue the certificate of occupancy.
No,
You mean the certificate
The
of,
RBS.
Yeah, it's from this item number 4.
Handbook, the handbook leads you to believe that the builder, the owner builder guy. Can issue the full pledged RBS certificate.
well, if he's the builder, he may be able to do that.
Fair?
What number is that?
It's RBS.
Statute.
30 VSA, that weird icon 51. Residential building energy standard stretch code.
can't
Ultimate,
believe it, there are legal documents that are not verbatim in agreement.
well, that's a handbook. A handbook and a legal document are 2 different things.
Emphasis on us.
But I mean, I don't really, at the end of the day, whatever you guys feel.
It has to be owner builder.
I don't know, maybe I'm not communicating, maybe you don't understand what I'm saying.
I'm thinking, you're saying that his thing that he's saying is saying that the owner can do it.
It does say the owner can do that certificate
But it does, I believe. have to
and
be-
fill out the form, and if they're the builder,
So his-
probably they can fill out the form
So
if it
his whole
passes,
thing,
it's gotta
depending on
be,
whether the home meets the type of
uh,
requirement mentioned.
tested
owner-
by somebody who,
Owner.
has
must
that
complete one of the
certification.
two documents, either from the certificate,
Huh.
the home meets the
This
type of. requirement, or
VSA
not one of
thing
those
says a
disclosures.
certification may be issued by a builder, a licensed professional engineer, a licensed architect, or an accredited home energy rating, or, so it could be done by a builder.
A builder.
and if the homeowner is the builder,
If certification is not issued by a
But like,
licensed professional engineer, a
My
licensed
husband is a
architect,
builder,
or
like
an
he's got a
accredited home
license, he's
energy,
got all
it
that
shall be
stuff,
issued by the
right?
builder.
Like, so he can say that he hit RBAS, but like, I'm not a licensed builder. So if I build my own house, I'd have to fill out the disclosure statement, right?
But
I do window treatments, man, I don't know.
I hear you.
I think it's not as simple as just filling out the Vermont Residential Building Energy Standard Certificate. I think you need someone licensed to do that.
Exactly.
This is
Right.
not saying you need to be.
Who
a
does the
licensed-
test?
It says you could use a licensed person.
I
It's
mean,
not saying you
But
need
if,
to,
if it's part of that certificate is to use someone that's licensed,
it's,
you see what I'm
right,
saying?
because you can fill it out, but it has to
Right,
be
you get to get the
performed
stamp of
by the
approval.
certified
like
blower
you
door
can-
tester
a
man.
builder may contract with a licensed engineer, licensed architect, or an
Yeah.
accredited home, a building agent to issue the certification and to indemnify the builder from any liability to the owner of the residential construction caused by, it doesn't say it must, it says it may.
Right, I mean, I think that's, CYA, right, for a builder, you want somebody else signing off on that. Where if you're a homeowner, doing it yourself, you may not care.
But when you sell the house.
You have to
then
hand them.
in that little deal, the last item says you have to give them that certificate.
Yeah.
And then you become probably legally liable if you're the owner and you did it.
Or you fill out the form that says, I
Yeah.
didn't meet this certification. And so,
It can be. Not gonna lie, no one's turned in a 2024 RBS certification because everyone's doing it under the old one, because. No permits have been issued under the new one, because they only got released in August. So this form does look different from the 2021.
Oh, that's 2024.
Yeah. It says, I certify to.
That's the owner.
I have the.
I certify to Bob's Builder. That the above information is
Not
correct.
not Bob Builder, just Bob, is not owner builder, it just says.
Right.
so I
owner.
certified to Joe.
I certify to Joe that Bob's Builder did it correctly, excuse me.
Yeah,
30 days required to do a permit.
Right, and if you're the owner, you're not gonna, you're gonna say,
No, if you're the owner, you would be doing the. Section I,
So that's the actual RBS certificate,
yes, this is what people turn in.
not the exemptions.
I think I've done 2 owner builder disclosure statements, most of them are usually RBSs. No one's turned in a 2024 one yet, because all zoning permits so far have been issued under 2020.
you'll start getting
We'll
them.
start getting them soon.
And the only reason why we started this whole conversation was, Jason, when you were being asked to provide certificates of occupancy.
People ask
Some
about this.
people were not necessarily providing this.
And they ask like why it's not in your LURs, your LUR state, you don't.
So now we're putting it in
Almost.
there, and in my proposed words, I thought were fairly clear, that says you need to do one or the other. That's,
And we're doing this because we wanna be in compliance with. the state.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, I don't think I don't think we're really off here. I don't think you're wrong, I think we got some. Editing issues.
I just want to be clear
And make it easy for people.
to understand.
And that's the other thing, you gotta take me out of it, that's why I say this is what I do, I think it's easy. Cause I get it, so I think this is, other than the fact it doesn't say it should be recorded.
Having it online and having it searchable. Makes it easier.
So what do we wanna do with I?
My proposal is to, unless people, and Langdon's objecting, I think because he feels you're not sure the owner can do this. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't think,
My read is the owner can do it. Okay, and I'm reading the statute, the same one that you're doing. It says a certification may be issued by a builder, a licensed professional engineer, yada, yada, yada. I read all that. So my proposal is to reword as I showed you in my little write-up. It took me a while to understand that, and I think unless,
Let me just see your.
I've given it to
Oh,
Jason.
okay, yes.
So what if we,
There's no handwritten
Oh,
on
your
this?
handwritten.
Oh, here it is, I'm sorry.
what if we vote that Jason goes back and rewrites it with the changes? And we table it until our next meeting and then we vote when it's in writing in front of us.
what's the changes?
What I proposed. In the minutes.
And if you object to those changes,
It's just,
we should see what that verbiage would be.
So subpart B, the applicant shall record or submit for recording with the application a certificate is required by the residential building standards or commercial building engineering standards as a requisite of issuance of certificate of occupancy. So if it passes the code, you issue the certificate, it doesn't matter who wrote it, the certificate gets pushed in on the file. The reason I made I was in the case where you're not meeting standards, you have to fill out an owner builder disclosure statement. And that's it, right? His changes are saying, if an owner builds it, they have to either give the RBS, which we took care of in B, or the owner builder disclosure statement.
Hmm.
So the whole idea of I was, if you don't have an RBS because you weren't built by a certified builder, then you have to fill an owner builder disclosure. It's
Right.
only an owner builder disclosure. It should have no mention of the RBS certificate.
Correct.
And that he wants to add RBS certificate into subpart I.
No, that's why I is a separate thing, it's
That's
just.
why I is a separate thing.
It's just.
So then,
So I don't need to, I don't wanna have to veto it when it comes back again, that's my whole
Right.
point.
no.
Michael, I agree with Langdon, you've made it a little bit more confusing because you're commingling the, RBES certificate, with the owner builder disclosure statement. And their certificate is dealt with above, in sub B. And sub I is only meant to address if you don't have that RBES.
Okay,
Right, so we're making it more confusing. I think it is just a simple.
Comma and the lowercase a, that's it.
And record
I
it.
thought we
And
added
record
two
it, we
commas
don't even
in
need to
B.
vote on it, comma and lowercase a.
I think we need to clean up B too, the applicant shall have recorded or submit for recording, comma, or submit for recording of the application, comma, certificate is required by period. The RBES CB is a requisite to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy.
Yeah, punctuation doesn't need to be voted on if it's just
Right.
English, it's just English. We'll just clean up the English.
But
What?
who's going to, because the comma.
There's really, in B, and I'm not an English professor or anything, but. The applicant shall have recorded. Or submit for recording. With the application, there's probably a comma there. But why would you put all these commas in places where there's an or? It's one or
So
the other.
just skip the first one with the application, a certificate required by 30 BSA, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, cause my spell check didn't catch it. My formatting didn't catch it in Microsoft Word. When I wrote it,
Well, I can't, mine does French sometimes, so.
I think I made a mistake in trying to read this and understand it yesterday.
I'm sorry.
Um,
In case of the owner builder, comma.
I'll change it to a comment and see what Microsoft Word says about it. Lowercase a. It still likes it.
In case of the owner builder, comma, when the owner in fact writes the details of construction regarding installation materials not in compliance with RDS. Owner builder disclosure statement must be submitted with.
The application.
And do they have to tell you what's not in compliance, or they just say the building is not in compliance?
It's not, as long as it's not my thing, not what I worry about as the zoning administrator.
I think,
They're just stating that it's not in compliance, and therefore, I'm not a master, I wouldn't know what they were talking about if they did. I'm not a builder,
So then.
so it's their
directs the
statement, it's their
details of
signature.
construction.
The two times that I had to do this was they didn't do the RBS and the guy was like, this will never pass the and I was like, well, you gotta figure something else out. I can't give you, I have to have this or I can't issue the CO for occupancy. And we went through and I was like, let's do this disclosure statement, sign off on it, and I'll have to go back and look at if it's a new one or not.
Who built the place though?
Smith.
No, I mean like the
Yeah.
owner built it?
Yeah, it was an owner, it was an owner, it was
Yes,
an
the
owner,
owner built it.
it was the owner.
Oh, the one
yes.
that Clegg owns now,
Huh? And is that who owns that?
Clegg,
No.
this wasn't,
It was actually a modification to a condo unit.
oh,
They took something else and then made it part of the conditioned area. So it needed to meet RBS. And
Well,
that's why I
there's a
said, that's why a
commercial
second ago, I
building.
said I'm pretty good at 1.3. I'm good at finding the exemptions for folks, but.
right, I mean, that is a dicey thing when that's a commercial building.
No, it's a multi-family dwelling, not commercial. Depends on how you look at it. Depends on how you look at it. Kind of how we were talking about trails, sometimes it's commercial, sometimes, depending on how you look at it,
Don't say that word.
depending on how you look at it.
Don't know what that
Cause
is.
commercial could be like going into Brothers Building, it's a commercial building, right? Going into an apartment building's not a commercial building, it's a multifamily dwelling unit. But under certain things, especially with DPS, the standards still apply as if they were a commercial building, like sprinklers and things of that nature.
Okay.
Many years working in the fire marshal's office, I understand.
so if we move this forward, okay, folks? If we wanna leave the word just as they are, I think I can understand it now with punctuation, okay? And I think the punctuation should be the applicant shall have recorded, comma, or submit for recording with the application, comma, a certificate as required by 30 VSA 51, or 53, period. Then new sentence, the RBES, CBES is a requisite to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy. I understand that. And then understanding what Langdon's saying.
My name is Langford, by the way, or
Langford.
Lang, either way.
Thank you, because
Davidson. Okay, just go with
Yeah,
your
that's
last.
why we did, sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's no, I don't care. It's,
No, it is important. I'm sorry. There's a town where I grew up.
oh, never mind.
And yeah. In the case of an owner builder, when the owner in fact directs the details of the structure during installation of material not in compliance with the RBES, comma, a Vermont owner builder disclosure statement must be submitted with the application of certificate of occupancy, so can be placed on file. So with those commas and periods and stuff, I can understand it.
Okay. We didn't change any words, so we're
You
good.
need to change the last part?
I think we should change something in there.
What do you wanna
It
add?
should be
Regarding the
recorded,
installation.
just like it was an RBS.
Yeah, you have to, instead of,
Place- we
instead of
said-
it being placed on file, should it say
That we talked, I mean, but this is,
Disclosure statement must be simple.
Hey, it's a different day, man.
I know, I know. The disclosure statement must be recorded in the face of land use regulations. With,
placed on file and recorded. Can you place on file and record it, or does that?
Yeah, we
make
can do that.
sentence Way too
yeah,
long.
no, we can do that.
Placed on file and recorded.
Recorded in the
Just
face
two
of
more
land
words.
Just two more words.
It's fine.
use. Yeah, that we can do.
De minimis.
Do you want me to add that to the Word document and email?
How about I just write I later and we'll just prove that next week,
I think it's
because,
good, yeah, I think.
because they theoretically should have this done prior to even applying for a CO. So the must in there, I know. I
So,
didn't catch it.
where in the code does it say you, don't worry about it, but like, it says someplace that you have to have this to get a certificate of occupancy in the Vermont code?
The energy code.
Well, I know the energy code. But there's a
No.
code for certificate of occupancy? Cause this is the larger overhang here.
Yes, but you gotta go,
It's the only way that they could monitor it, right?
Yeah, no, I got that, no, I 100% on your team. Okay,
yes, but you gotta go to chapter 24 and get out of chapter 30, and it talks about. If you issue COs, then you have to get the RBS.
Right, where some towns don't issue COs,
yeah, like Granville,
like Moortown.
Moortown, Granville, they don't issue certificate of occupancy, so it's kind of like,
But it is one of those questions where you look at that first sentence of I. In the case of an owner builder, when the owner in fact directs the details of construction regarding the installation of materials not in compliance with RBS.
what?
I think that's a weird sentence.
It's from the code. I'm with it. This, so the whole thing was that
It's
this
almost like
is,
it's a long way of saying he was the foreman.
Right.
use the foreman,
Yeah, use the
directs.
form, man, just fill out the form. Yeah. I think that's messy. Like that first sentence doesn't come to completion, or
well,
the subject or something is off. In the case of an older builder,
Comma.
yeah, when the owner in fact directs the details of construction.
punctuation.
And then, okay, when the owner directs details of construction regarding the installation of materials.
Not in compliance with RBA, no
Right,
problem.
and then it doesn't go anywhere from there.
I think it's because it's from a list of items in the statute.
Yeah,
Ah,
It's from a few bullets.
I see.
Yeah.
So it is a little messy there.
it's just really supposed to get the message across, it's just giving Jason ammunition to require it.
I mean, and going back to what Carol said, I always required it, it's eliminating the questions and the arguments with the lawyers that come in here. Coming in here and going, it's not in your land use regulations, why are you making me do this? And then I gotta go through all the things that I sent them, copying statutes and going here. Sheila was really good, she was like, oh yeah, no, you're right. But it's the ones coming from not around here that are kind of like, your land use regulations don't say that. They don't wanna come to the office, they don't wanna come and do the deed research that all the other lawyers do, is one, so it's always something.
It would seem to me, in the case of an owner builder, when the owner in fact directs the details of construction. A Vermont owner builder disclosure statement must be submitted with the application. Like that other bit in there is messy.
But.
No,
Then
because
it's not
but
clear.
Necessary.
I think it's very clear,
You think, then leave it.
I think it's clear, because it's basically, because it's really,
You're the one who
it
has
is
to fight
talking
this
about
fight.
just the RBS.
Right, it's not just about directing the details of construction. It's directs the details of construction regarding what the topic we're talking about, installation of materials not compliance with an RBES. So it's not just, if you eliminate the regarding the installation of materials not compliance with RBES, it's too vague.
But do they, in fact, when they fill out that form, list what's not in
Well,
compliance.
that's the thing, subpart
I
D
think
is
so.
the owner discloses in writing to the prospective buyer before entering into a binding purchase and sales agreement with respect to the nature and extent of all non-compliance with the RBES. Any statement or certificate given to the prospective buyer shall itemize how the home does not comply with RBS and shall itemize which measures do not meet the RBS standards in effect at the time of construction commenced.
Right. So that disclosure statement then forces them, you're not,
Should go through and document that.
that's what makes it
Have to.
burdensome.
Although you look at any of the older houses,
But then it also says a certificate given under the subsection H shall be recorded in the land records where the property is located and sent to the Department of Public Service within 30 days following the sale of the property by the owner. So like, there's a lot of documentation if you do that. Are we not putting enough information into this?
No, you're fine.
No, I think we're good. I slept on the part where,
Punctuation?
so we're leaving this, except we're adding a
It's gotta be
little bit of
recorded.
punctuation.
gotta report.
Cleaning up
And we'll put
the,
Based on file and
Punctuation.
recorded.
cleaning up the grammar.
Put a couple of commas in there. If it doesn't turn red squiggly or blue squiggly, send it.
Good to know.
Cause this didn't turn red squiggly or
It
blue
was never-
squiggly either.
All right, so that was a lot of, that was a giant time suck.
Yes. for sure.
But either way, the
Okay.
minutes,
So what we're going to do,
cause this is
Um,
already been.
All right, so then we have to go back to the minutes, right?
right, so we can't.
This has already been approved.
So I would like to amend the motion to accept the minutes as approved, as written. We want to accept the minutes with those changes. Is that correct?
This is where I'm saying, we approved this change at the last meeting. Right now, we're just approving the minutes of last month's meeting.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to,
Like, this is what I'm saying,
Yeah,
like, we've
yeah.
already approved
Drag
this.
down that rabbit hole.
So we gotta,
Actually, I
So-
jumped, I think.
let's, hang on, just, are there any other, just so I know what we're dealing with here, are there any other issues in the minutes beyond what we've been discussing?
No, because I'm friends with the Bass people and I understand what they're saying on this penultimate page. In the center it says, Michael, the reason that we didn't do that was because the Bass trails are open to the public part of the time and are on private property. Not all of them are on private property, some may be on public lands. So I just would like to say the reason we didn't do that was because the Bass trails are open to the public part of the time and some are on private property.
And there's this,
It's on,
Page 5,
yeah, page 5,
page
next to
5.
the last page.
yeah, in the middle. Just add the word some there, please. Thank you. I don't wanna get-
So this
I don't
isn't,
wanna-
I talked to Carol about this morning. This is not a transcription of the words that we said in the meeting. This is a general idea of what was said. It's not gonna change anything. If it say sums on.
so,
premise-
where are we at though, so I can put
It's
some
on
in
page
there?
5, but this is not a transcription. We didn't hire a court reporter. It's not word for word.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
And why do-
Michael,
why
I
do we spend-
appreciate it.
Why do
No,
we
no.
spend this
Well,
time?
the minutes are just to have a general idea of what's going on in each meeting, so people can go back and look at it. Like, I read the minutes to all the meetings before I got here on EDUs and stuff to understand what you guys have been talking.
And they're on private property some of the time, is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
And some are on private property.
Some are on private.
But we're so far off into the weeds,
That's it.
it's,
Okay,
this is not a.
That's an
transcription.
easy one.
okay, yes, cool.
And it is his quote, so.
Alright, so how, I'm asking this because I don't know. Can we approve, are we permitted, and I'm looking at you, Freddie, because you're the Robert rules person. Can we approve the minutes accepting sub I that we have been discussing? And put sub I, an amended sub I or an edited sub I on the agenda for approval next.
Let's just put, don't worry about that as approving the minutes, because that's not really the minutes. That was just saying, we approved that last
So that's the minutes, that's what happened last month in that
Right, so we
section.
can approve the minutes.
So we can approve the minutes, and next month we'll come with a
Good.
new eye, and we'll just,
Okay, awesome. So that being said, all in favor of approving the minutes from January 2025?
I'm sorry, Paul.
Continue the discussion, yes.
No, I don't understand what just was said.
Okay,
I don't understand.
what, we're approving the minutes, okay? By approving the minutes, we're acknowledging what we did at the January 13th meeting, okay? And what we did was
approve section 9.4 as written.
which we're gonna need to edit and we'll fix. But the minutes that we're approving is what we're saying is that the minutes as that we're voting on here are an accurate reflection of what occurred on January 13th, 2025.
So,
That make sense?
I guess, where did I go wrong then? Maybe I didn't read.
You
this.
didn't go wrong.
You didn't go
And so then what did?
And you
we-
helped us greatly by pointing out that what we approved was rotten English and we need to fix that.
So next
But it
time.
doesn't
we'll fix
mean that, I'm sorry, it was a little unclear, not rotten English.
No, I know what happened. We had 7 people on Zoom waiting for us to talk about
No
trails, and we
shit.
just rubber stamped this, and no one ever really
the only
looked
thing
at
we
it.
talked about was the gap.
Yeah, and it was just like, ultimately, you don't wanna change the words, you wanna add a couple commas, like, I get it. And we can do that.
Yeah, and we're gonna do that, we're gonna fix that in the next meeting.
We didn't
Right
give it
now,
the
what
time
we're,
it needed.
what we're approving, Michael, is the minutes, what we did do now, the minutes reflect what occurred on January 13th. With regard to sub-I, now that you've, we've made a clarification on the vast trails. So now, and that was a good clarification to make, because the minutes now accurately reflect what we discussed on January 13th.
Okay,
Okay, so all in favor of approving the January 13th, 2025 minutes, say aye. Aye.
and that includes these, then we're going to then say we're gonna change. Or just play with the punctuation on I and B.
We don't have to do that. What we're doing is we're approving the minutes.
We are
And it
though,
will be
We're
in the
gonna take
new
care of it.
minutes.
we are though, we
It'll
already
be in
take
the
care
new
of it.
minutes that's what we said.
We're also gonna make a recommendation to the select board for the changes, and you can go over them with a fine tooth comb and an English dictionary, and we can make them perfect before we send them.
Right, so what, again, Michael, we're approving the minutes. And.
You
and-
did
And
catch
the minutes from, the minutes from tonight's meeting will reflect our discussion. And that discussion concluded that at our next meeting, we will be voting on the language that we corrected, or the grammar that we corrected, and adding the recording requirement.
There'll be a revision to a revision.
Okay, all right, good. So, the minutes are passed.
Awesome.
Okay, so next item on the agenda is, public comments. Is it fair to assume that, seeing nobody in the room or on the Zoom, that there's nobody to comment from the public? Yes. Okay, good.
Fair representation of the current.
Excellent. Okay. Item 5, and this is what I hope you spend a little time talking about. Planning Commission work plan discussion involving the town plan. This item came up in the January 13th meeting. Thanks to Carol's input, that we as a commission need to kind of pull back a little and look at the bigger picture. And that bigger picture is that we have a town plan that is going to need to be updated. When is that, Jason?
28.
2028?
Yeah.
Which seems like a long way off, but not that far off. And there's work to be done, leading up to that, and so we need to start wrapping our collective minds around, what needs to be done and how we're gonna do it. So. I was hoping we would just sort of, go around and try to get a read on, what we think needs to happen and how to do it. Who wants to go first? Who's read the town plan?
I talking to you the other day, we discussed a little bit about maybe inviting someone from Central Vermont. To help talk us and walk us through.
Yep.
The town plan update process, because they have to approve this.
Right, and there are more sections that are gonna have to be added. You may know some about that.
What?
Okay, well, let's back it up and start at the beginning.
What do you mean?
I think we need maps. Which. Have you called Brian?
Alright.
Did he give you any idea of a timeline?
No, he didn't, it was quick, and he was like, oh, I was waiting for you to call. This was-
Okay, let's slow down for those of us who did not meet together and talk about this. Who's Brian and is he from Central Vermont?
Yes.
He
Okay,
lives in Waitsfield.
okay. Brian's last name is?
Voight,
Adam
Voight,
Voigt,
isn't that right?
Voight.
okay.
And have maps of. He'll do an interactive map that we can put up and toggle on and off different attributes. And he'll do paper maps so that we can lay them out here and look. They don't do overlays anymore and go on Mylar.
To do what?
They also do all the little maps and stuff that are in the town plan.
Yeah.
They do most. We might have to do.
They do
Harold's.
so much every year for the towns for free and we haven't done it.
Okay, cause I was, I don't wanna get too sidetracked, but from the Central Vermont last meeting, there's municipal planning grants for towns. And it just opened the application. Have you worked on these
If
before?
you guys wanna, yes, if you guys wanna put in for it, it's definitely something to consider. We always get to that.
Really?
Always.
Okay,
I was reading through the map seems like, I thought if that was gonna cost money, it seemed like a good one to spend it on, because reading through what they did for 2024, I mean, there's tons of towns that get between $10,000-$50,000 for doing this.
We
kind of work.
should get a grant to buy a plotter and then print our own maps.
What's that?
well, so this is from the 2011 report
Slide that over.
and it's a multi-useless document.
Multi-use.
There are parts of it that are really good,
Yeah.
but this particular piece. That's what they have in there as a build out for the town of
Oh,
Facein.
that's stupid. I don't understand what it means.
Right?
Build it.
Yeah,
That's where they say we're gonna build, right?
and it doesn't have setbacks from streams, it doesn't have a lot of information. in it.
It just looks like a
piece of artwork. But if you look at us compared to Waitsfield or to Warren, and that was based on, I think, the zoning regs at that time. But you look at that document and you're like, oh, it's jarring, but not accurate. I wonder if it's worth it to, maybe we do a tri-town grant. That would let us have that, Arrowwood or somebody else redo that, whole
Wow.
document. And put in the setbacks and put in the steep slopes and all of the things and make it a useful document.
Does the municipal planning grant, application allow for multiple?
Yes.
Municipalities teaming up?
Yes, we're
together?
actually in conjunction with Waitsfield on one last year, year before on the Irisville. Master
Plan.
project,
We got $44,000 for that.
because we added us that
Right.
little extra.
What
Because
is
it was one for 30 and then we added, because we were involved
We
in
didn't-
for 15 or something.
We got nothing.
Yeah, we made it possible by signing on.
Ah,
Well-
And that's our village,
so we helped out
Right.
Waitsfield.
right, but it's our village, so
Sure.
it does help us in the long.
And it is
run.
all our water
Absolutely.
heading
Yeah.
into their wetlands.
Yeah, no, I mean,
What is that map?
I'm trying to understand this. So where did this come from?
It was a study done in 2011. It's mentioned in the town report. I don't know, I only read 50 pages. The first
Is
50.
it part of the town plan?
It's not part of the town plan, it is. I had it in my main computer.
Because
and I
this
have
is
it.
gonna look like Manhattan.
Well, I don't understand, there's no key on that.
No, there is a key.
Oh, that's-
Yeah, I can read it. I can understand it. This
Sorry.
area right here is this
Water.
green area that's gonna be left as is. There's a green area here that's gonna be left as is. And basically,
What's the black?
I don't
those
understand.
are
Those
all
are-
homesteads, houses.
Maxed out.
Oh,
That's-
everyone had something on their parcel or something like that?
What would be
It's like
possible?
incredible subdivision and it's gonna be like.
But that's why I said that's a multi-usage tool, right? Because it certainly involves panic when you first look at that.
Multi-use, no, I'm actually scared. I'd like to know.
But
like,
that's what I'm saying. It doesn't have any setbacks. It doesn't have setbacks from waterways. It doesn't have steep slopes. So I'm gonna send you
Does
the
it, does it
document.
have any official bearing or is this just someone's idea?
The
I think
three
that's someone
towns had
just-
this done.
It's just saying how much could be built right now. If everybody decided they wanna build something,
That was in 2011.
but you're saying it doesn't even, it's not really accurate.
Is that
Not
saying,
accurate.
cause cause like a lot of our like rural residential and
It's basically.
talks about maximum lot development, 35%, is that basically what that's saying, if they develop 30% of the lot?
And I,
Cause they
Gonna
do
send this
utilize
to you
our,
right now.
Central Vermont does utilize the land use.
The roads on this thing, there's that middle.
Yeah.
That's just a lot of houses. I didn't move to Facein to live in Manhattan.
That's,
But,
we won't let that happen.
I mean, it could have happened already, you know, I don't think you have much to worry about.
do you have a copy of that report?
Of that piece of paper?
Well, it's a whole report. I just pulled that out.
I'm not,
That's
that's,
good.
I
All right, I'm
never
gonna send
seen
it
that,
to you right now.
thank you.
So.
But that's a hypothetical situation there, assuming, I'm looking at that going, because our, like, rural residential, I believe, maximum development coverage is 35% or 30%.
Well, 2011, the town report was redone in 2020. Right, so that's what I'm saying is,
So that's why
And they-
it's all black.
they looked at this at that time and said. Right,
Well, there's
but they
there's a lot
did
of things that
reference
go
parts
into
of
that,
this
like,
in this.
can you even? Build on some of these areas, you know, we could, you look at like what's behind like I call it Old Carroll Road,
Carol
post
Road.
office right there, I've heard from. Kasich,
That's
that
wet,
they can't, well, they can't even get a perk up there.
right,
So they can't build, so like, and if I look at that map right there, I bet you they're showing black all over those parcels.
sure.
Which, that means it's gonna be hard to build where you can't get one wastewater.
Well, that's what I mean, a multi-useless document, but terrifying when you look at it. So having one that was good information might be worth a grant and help inform us to make good decisions because we have more information. And maybe it's something Doug could help put together right now with what we have on the grand list and the parcels that we have. And plotting it on topo with any of the documents we get from Brian.
I'm trying to understand, Freddie, where you're going with this. Why are we're talking about a town plan and now we're talking like,
It
development
was in
plan.
response to the grant. That would be something we could spend the money on,
You want a map that would be useful for people
for us
looking to
to
build,
plan, no, for us to
for us
plan.
to plan. Okay,
And maybe it's time for the Valley to do another
Well,
Valley-wide one.
I don't think it's one, depending on what we're looking at with mapping. I don't think we need to spend an outrageous amount of money on mapping, depending on what it is. If you go to this website here. This is a great tool, good resource, and you can go ahead, that's Facein. It's already got topos at 20, you can put them at 1 foot contours, it has our parcels.
I just, I just would like to say
But
that
you
like,
can,
Hang on.
I think I've sat in this room a lot with you guys and a lot of people like to have things printed out. I think that's where you're coming from. And you know, my wife's an architect. There's a plotter printer in her office. I went up and talked to Gunnar McCain at McCain. He printed out fresh stuff to talk about. You know, I think we should apply for a grant to get a plotter printer in town hall so we can print this stuff, so that we can lay it out. So we don't need to pay somebody else to print it. We should be able to get the supplies and print our own maps, so we can talk about things. And you can print it off this and, you know, we can print it big or small and work that way. And I think that's where you want to be able to visualize it. That's the issue.
no, all I was saying here, because the
And have
Freddie
more
is,
accurate
once we figure
information.
out what items we want, like, we go through and toggle the different things we wanna put on there, we can go to Brian and say. Like, cause we saw that little one that he made for us and it wasn't the overview, but it was all there. He basically pulls all that, we could put the river corridor, stream buffers on there, and that's all changing shortly too, because in 2027 there's gonna be all new river corridor stuff. Based on last year's legislature, but you can, in flood zones, all that stuff is here. I can even put where the buildings are on this map. So they'll highlight
So
little
you
red
can do
buildings.
that already.
I can do
That's
that,
what-
but as I said, we don't necessarily need a grant for mapping. Oh, we can use this little resource, or we can use a couple other resources, there's E911 map and all that too. But Brian has access to all those items that we would want to put on a map, we do want to print. Like you were saying, cause you want a paper map, you want to see,
I'm
it, you don't.
intrigued by,
Just get a plotter.
does,
Ryan does it for free.
Oh, I don't, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's costing,
if it's free is for me, but like,
I think in the end, it'll cost us $10.
I mean, my wife just prints stuff at her office and just bills it to
yeah, is
herself.
that an
$2.
idea that whole, is intriguing, or what are the costs of one of these things?
They're not terribly expensive, they're sometimes significantly.
Give me a
priced.
number, give me a number, like, I don't understand,
$2,500.
one person's expensive is, you know.
But then the other thing is my experience with these electronic gizmos. Is they require someone to understand them. someone to
No,
work
it's
them,
just a
someone to
printer,
fix them.
no.
It's just a printer that needs ink, that needs to be,
Paper.
it's gonna have to be connected and all that kind of stuff, and.
I dealt with a little bit at Gristmill, you probably dealt with the large format printers.
We've got one at the office, but it doesn't do color.
And you have a contract like Repro or something like that,
HP design, like a
I don't know.
full,
I call Liza and she prints it for me.
but I mean, like, it's like maintenance and things like. They were constantly having issues with stuff at Gristmill, so.
if you
I
buy
got
a,
to learn.
if you buy a
Repro.
laser printer, like the most expensive one HP does is like $6,000. If you get I mean, I have a laser printer in my house, that's why I print all my stuff out. It prints 6,000 pages on a set of cartridges, it's barely me. I mean, I also spent 6 years supporting printers professionally, so like, I did IT work for a long time. But if you wanna have Brian print it and he maintains his own printer and it's cheap, it's free, that's great.
He works for Central Vermont Planning.
Yeah, these are the guys who actually, it says
See,
CVRPC.
Central Vermont.
These are the ones who they made it, so they should be able to give these in bigger things, in bigger.
You've been in my office, you've seen them all up on my wall.
Yeah, so.
But I mean, we could also just put the maps up on this TV.
He'll do that so that we can toggle different attributes on and off and show us how to use that.
The maps exist.
So, but let's focus.
I like, I mean, you're talking to town plan?
No, I wanna just focus.
Okay,
We're getting off into, we're gonna
The
get,
weeds.
again. I think having interactive maps, having that resource, it sounds like we can do that. I'm intrigued by what Andrew just said about applying for a grant, whether you use it for a plotter printer or whatever. And you think that's, there's first time for everything.
Yeah, no, and I think they're a little different every year. 'Cause
Yeah.
The last one we did, was about a consultant for updating LURs to increase housing.
That's the last one you tried to get.
And it was 2 years ago. We didn't even bother last year. Well, we didn't have a planning commission really last year. We were coming and going.
It's worth going on, just go on the Google Vermont Municipal Planning Grants and then look at the list from last year.
Okay,
Cause it gives 3 sentences on what these other towns did and how much they got.
okay.
It's a good place to get ideas.
And so, and we can use that money towards, I mean, what we're gonna need is, we're gonna need like an updated, survey, because the town plan has the whole community profile section, right? So we're gonna need to commission a survey of some sort, right? And I'm
Yep.
thinking that dovetails in with Sam and the MRVPD and
But it has to be based in,
specific,
yeah.
right? We can't just pull from their survey, we can't just pull the Facein numbers, that would be, and we wouldn't even.
Well, we
and
need
you know,
updated, we need updated.
You need to update it anyway, right?
And it needs to be specific to
Yeah.
what the people have faced in.
Exactly, and you might get a, and I think also you might get a better response, you might get more people that actually take the time to participate because it is based in and it's not valley-wide. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was thinking it would be good if we did it around tax time, or maybe they're mad by then, I don't know. So that, a lot of people are in and out of the office.
Okay, and what's the timing on that? When would we have to, get this survey completed in order to incorporate it into a 2028 town plan?
We need to definitely have, like I said, this year was more, I don't know if I believe I talked to you, I kind of prepped for this and I talked to the select board about, we gotta start working on it. We didn't do any budgetary increases for the planning commission this year, but we do need to prep so we can have an idea of what our budgetary increases are going to be for 2026 or 27.
So we need to get an idea from somebody, from who, about the cost of.
I think Josh and Sam are a great asset right there to figure that
I'll
out.
see him on Thursday.
And maybe what we need to do is make a list.
And am I calling it the right
Exactly what
thing?
we
A
think
survey? What do we call it?
Well, we should have a survey,
Survey.
we should have maps.
Survey. Waterbury's doing one right now, and Waterbury Roundabout put it out on their stuff.
Yeah, we maybe work with Valley Reporter so they could have something to put on their, cause it's gotta be in, on their Facebook page or something like that, so
Right.
you can click to it. You can just get with Lisa on that, we'll utilize some of the items that Sam mentions, when he
Front porch
talks about
forum.
his front porch forum, but he talks about like community-based partners, like he goes around and gets like a QR code to the churches and stuff like that, where it could be like on a bulletin board and maybe someone can scan the QR code and get to the survey. He mentioned that with the wellness, he goes to some community partners and also that's another way he gets the survey for the wellness survey and the annual data report. and all.
So we could either get the money for the survey as part of the Facein budgeting process, or potentially from a Vermont municipal planning grant.
What are we doing with the grant we have now?
What grant?
What grant?
Waitsfield's got it.
It says Waitsfield and Facein.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about.
We were like.
We joined in to assist
Master.
Waitsfield in getting the grant.
Sorry.
We didn't pocket any coin from it itself.
So we need to.
Which also, it gives us 2 years to even go for it too, so we shoot for a grant this year, that could be helpful. If we don't get it, it gives us an extra year to shoot for it.
So Andrew, I'm gonna look at that stuff
Third year.
independently, but I'm also gonna count on you to maybe find out how, I've done some grant writing in my
That's
past.
the problem,
What's the problem?
the match.
%10 match.
We didn't budget for a match. If we,
Gotcha.
What's the process for,
I think we go through the process, see if we get it, and. Depending on how much we're looking to get,
right,
we're looking at. A $3,000 grant, we need $300, I think we have that.
yeah, I'll
in
match,
that item that
I'll match the 270.
We never touch our $500, we never touch.
But I mean, maybe that's the kind of stuff we need to sit down and really delineate.
that's one of the other, matches for grants.
What's the timing on?
March 31st.
It's due by March 31st.
No, that's really tight
Right,
for now.
Yeah,
It's not, I remember when Rebecca filled out, and I mean, she didn't do the greatest job of it, but. It's not the craziest grant application I've ever seen. It's
Who
not,
would do that for Face and Now?
well, one of you guys,
We would-
Okay.
or me.
It's due
But
by March
let's see,
31st.
who do we have that are grant writers who know the schmoozy words?
There's application
I
guidance.
just don't know where it comes.
Chat
I mean,
GPT.
I've only, I wrote them for,
I've $1 million of grants before.
I wrote them for a foundation that I set up in, it's out of Summit County Recovery Foundation, which was a 501(c)(3) that we set up to provide funding for drug court in Summit County. So I did a couple of grant requests in that in that world. I don't think there's not.
It's a pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's
form.
not
It's
that-
not that
not that-
difficult.
And VLCT is actually doing a class on it, on grant writing, if anybody. Vermont League of Cities and Towns.
So cool.
We are members, passive members, so.
That's something to keep in mind too when we're doing this stuff. We can rely on them for guidance a lot.
You don't want,
Is that deal?
Yeah, Vermont League of Cities.
well, they contradict themselves.
So, all right, so the question is, are we gonna do this? One of us gonna do it? Who's gonna do it, or are we gonna rely on outside agency or town? What's the best?
Or do we need to identify what we're gonna get a grant for before we?
Well, I'm just looking through like Mendon, this is what it says. Their grant was for revising the zoning bylaws to reflect statewide goals and address the community goals developed in its town plan.
Sounds like it can be big,
Kind of vague.
and ours could be, for amending our, updating our land use regulations
Town plan
and
and-
prepping for the preparation of a new town plan in 2028.
But what do we
They
need
got 10,000.
money for? That's the part I don't
For
understand.
survey,
Right, it says right here, funds may be used for.
So setting out a because
One
like,
of the things that gets faced in is
Fact
we
finding
don't have a
vacations
town
to-
center.
Oh.
We don't have, whatever they call them now, hamlets, they got the new terminology for all these things, we don't have a
Village
growth area.
A what
And that's
district?
Village
A
district?
village.
Village district, we don't have those areas, and that usually is what gets us on these grants, cause they wanna see. I think the town plan side may have doing a grant for some funding for a town plan is gonna get us a lot farther than we did with trying to do something for the land use regulations, because they wanna see that stuff for the town plan and the growth, cause they wanna see the development or the infill of that area instead of where like Facein,
Straw.
we're just here.
Do we look at it though? In relation to development and water issues?
well, our town
Does that become
plan,
relevant, because we are steep and play to that.
well, our town plan, part of updating that town plan. Town plan, we have the community profile, so that's the survey, that's gonna cost money. The town plan also includes a section, chapter 5 is all about land use. Land use regulations, chapter 6 is housing. Chapter 7 is transportation, chapter 8 is community facilities. So it's all encompassing, right? So, if you don't have to be specific, I mean, I could see,
And there will be new sections required by state law.
We should find out what those are.
How about we do this?
Maybe
Let's
the
see if we can get
CBD.
Sam Lash, or I don't know if Brian's the guy who would come out on this matter. But we get like Sam Lash or someone from Central Vermont Regional Planning Commission to come out, discuss town plan updates with us and kind of let them. Go over some of the best practices that they've seen and worst practices that they've seen. To give us a real starting point from someone that, someone that's done it.
all right, well, let's get them,
We are
can we
six
get them,
people that
can we
have
get them to the, wow, to be the March meeting? Would that still give us enough, time to,
We're in planning phase right now, because.
no, but I mean, enough
For the
time for
application.
the application.
Just start working on it as part of a.
So this money we're
Town
looking
plan
for.
update.
I have, so basically. We're talking about the town plan, right? So like my issue with I just wanna say something, cause I think it works right in here. If you read the town plan, which many of us in this room have read, it talks about a lot of different things, and like I went through the property tax transfers to see how many homes have been purchased in 19, 20, 21, 23, and I put that all together. A lot of people have moved here, and if you read, it talks about how, Facein has the highest income of any town in the Mad River Valley, like. But 2020, I mean, I moved here in 2020, so many people have moved here. This document that we have that talks about how many people have education, all the specifics, it's very inaccurate at this point.
Yeah.
So we need to build a grant to like knock on people's doors. Like I talked to the lister before this meeting. I messed up and I haven't declared my homestead. So if you look at the tax records, it still says my house is a vacation home. But I'm not a vacation home. I've been living here for a long time. I'm gonna fix it this year in February. A lot of accountants don't know how to do it. So we don't have.
Excuse me?
What?
A lot of accountants don't know.
I
how
have
to do it.
I stupidly have my taxes done by a guy in Massachusetts, doesn't understand Vermont. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't have a Vermont-based accountant, they don't understand homestead declaration, right? A lot of people, I think, and the town isn't really going after people for it. That's what I understand from the lister. So we really need boots on the ground because.
Survey, that's the survey.
But the thing is, we did this wellness survey, and people didn't like.
This is not, that's what we just discussed, Lyman. We just said, we're not gonna piggyback, we're not gonna cherry pick from the wellness survey. We're gonna have our own specific town
No,
facing
I-
survey. And yeah, and it could be. boots on
Community
the ground.
outreach is gonna be, that maybe.
The response rates of the
Maybe
wellness survey. is what I-
$1,500 for community
We're
outreach.
pathetic, but maybe people will care more if it's stuff that really pertains to them.
But like, but what I'm saying is if we build a grant to actually get. Two actual people to like full-fledged, like. Really go after people, like every address to try to get the information to figure out who's actually living here. How many how many people have vacation homes, how many people are living year round.
Yeah,
How much education they have so that our town plan, which referenced so much of that, is more accurate. I think that's what our grant needs to be.
sure.
That was the
Yeah,
base.
no, I agree. I'm not, there's no disagreement there. But we don't have to be, it doesn't look like, as Andrew said, reading, what Mendon's grant was for. You don't have to be super duper specific,
Yeah,
right? And I think we should, throw it out there now. If it doesn't work, we try again,
And,
try
you
again.
got specific
They
about.
come back to
trying-
you and say, yeah, you didn't get it, and then maybe you say, well, why didn't we get it? Well, we need you to do this, this, and this, and then we've got a little bit of, we're not up against the 2028 deadline. If we don't get a grant this year, maybe we get some money from the town or what have you, but I think we have to get on it now, because yeah, 2028 is gonna come,
Very fast.
Very fast, faster than you imagine. I think that was, that was one of the takeaways from our January meeting, these things take time. So
We'll try to get,
Andrew and I will you and I,
Sure.
okay, we'll work on that. We'll
Very
work on
day.
that.
community outreach sounds like something that what you're looking for is some money from community outreach.
Mhm,
Those are the trendy terms.
yeah,
community outreach.
and I will talk with,
Big part of that.
I'll talk to Sam, let me just finish my thought while I'm writing too, and I will remember to, bring this up with Sam and Josh. I'll send them an email tomorrow and remember to bring it up face to face on Thursday when I see them.
And Sam will be here also next month also.
Perfect.
So while he's going over his annual data report, we can hammer him on
And we can get the CRB.
some data gathering.
As you said, Sam Lash at CRB.
I'll check who it is. I'm not quite sure who's gonna come out.
Are you trying to get them for the next
I'm
meeting?
gonna try to get him for next meeting.
Do you know what the 2027 changes are? That you were mentioning about,
No, I don't, the only thing I could think of is on certain, they gotta update their mapping, and then a lot of the stuff. We're somewhat, as far as our LURs go, kind of will cover some of that, because we have no development 0 to 50 from a stream. And then, but certain streams may change, it may be a 0 to 100 on maybe Millbrook and Shepherd Brook. Maybe something like that, so I gotta wait for Ned to come out with their new guidance on river corridors, they've got to remap and all that stuff. That river and corridor buffers, and it's, the similarities are gonna be similar to. The special flood hazard zones, the FEMA flood zones, where it's almost impossible to build when you're within that said area. Except this will be rivers and corridors, so will be areas that are not a special flood hazard area. But if we already kind of have that, we already have the no development within 50 feet of a stream. There may be some changes to Millbrook and Shepherd Brook, because it's more than a stream, it's more of a river, so.
well, and I would think that with Shepherd Brook, the, purity or whatever that standard is, would be relevant in certain areas, the higher up you go.
Have you guys noticed, I don't know if it's, have you guys noticed the listings in Waitsfield, that person on Bridge Street's like selling all the properties along Bridge?
What?
The house is just past the bridge.
Yeah,
The brick
so there's
one
a
and-
couple of properties and they're all together and they all hit the market.
Oh, on the left, the
I know
Haskins old house and.
there's like a couple of them all right there in the same area, they all were.
What's that?
There are people from away who moved here during COVID.
Okay,
Commonwealth
I was
side.
wondering if they were getting, because they kind of knew the standards were changed, like, I was wondering, because that's,
Now they're just,
okay,
they're outta
that's
there.
what
Oh,
my
where
brain
that
went to
ski
that.
club is, when
Yeah,
Miramar
just
Ski
towards
Club?
town from there, or
Yeah, it's-
towards the bridge.
I think it's the Haskins old house and Artie Bennett's old house.
Yeah, so those names are completely lost to me because I'm a
Oh.
newbie, so,
I just got, like, three
Haskins starts a
listings,
phone company
2 listings.
and,
good
They're
business.
right together.
yeah,
A little scary there.
I go right to the worst case scenario, they know something's coming.
On Bridge Street,
Yeah,
oh, like 125, Bridge Street,
Okay,
140.
all right, good, off topic, my job is to keep this train moving.
you need a job, man.
All right, so, I think that's a really good start. We have, Andrew and I have some homework to do on grant writing.
And the intent of that, Paul, is that we will then have some funding to go and get data, like.
To
a
do
survey.
community outreach,
Community outreach.
we'll have money to buy, a fancy plotter printer for Langford.
Thank you.
and,
I'm still trying to understand why we need.
there may be costs involved with starting these surveys up and.
Listen, it's,
Like,
if
that's what
someone's
this
giving,
grant covered.
they're giving away, what's the problem with having money than not have, as opposed to wishing you had money? Better to have than to want.
The towns still fund that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we have to match.
No, I'm saying the towns fund these, Central Vermont
Right,
and
yes,
Mad River.
yes.
It's still taxpayer money.
Mhm.
And my question is, why do we need our own plotter? I thought we agreed that.
We're
these
not.
plots-
I was being, okay, sorry, I was being
He was being
funny. Don't take me so literally all the time. I was just,
I'm
Oh,
with you,
just-
Michael, we don't need them.
Michael, I
Langford
just,
wants to plot.
I would just-
See who's.
Another
was
piece of
just-
equipment, I
I
gotta make
was
sure it
just-
doesn't break.
we're just poking at Langford the way I poke at you about being Minutemen. So please, I'll try to cut down on the silliness, but we've got to keep this a little light or we'll all lose our minds. No, Michael, what is the objection? Let's have a discussion about it then, instead of me being snarky. What is your objection to applying for a Vermont municipal planning grant?
I don't have an objection to it. I'm just trying to understand where we're gonna use it. That's. I'm trying
That's
to
what they gotta
understand.
feel out.
And I
Community
can't-
outreach.
Right, and
community
how long
outreach?
we have to spend the money, cause if it's 3 years or something,
Yeah, if it's community outreach, like the last census. You know, when we did the decennial census, the feds do, they still have people going door to door to get stuff. Gives information, so I can understand that. I'm just trying to get clarification on what it was for.
Yeah.
if you got a grant now, you get your money on May 1st of 2025, and you'd have to have it done by April 30th of 2027. That's the grant
That's
period that
awesome.
we're in right
It's a
now.
2-year.
So that's 2 years,
That's-
and we need to rewrite our town
Right.
plan. and
Even,
we
even
need
next
data
year
to
though,
do
is,
it.
it is good.
We just need data, and so we need to do survey, community outreach. I mean, and I don't think we should use the wellness survey, I'm just using the wellness survey as an example of. Even though we put it on front porch forum, even though you got people outside of
Doesn't
McDonald's, it doesn't work.
I got
We have to come up with a better way to get this information,
it.
and we don't wanna be,
I had talked to Maddie about including it with the tax bills. They don't like to do that,
No.
right? Because then you're really commingling.
Yeah, that's
And
not,
that
yeah,
gets-
I don't think that's good policy
Right.
either, that's.
But we
And that
could.
might, there might be some sort of legal challenge to that as well.
But then you can
Tax-
take the grand list.
Yeah.
And we could do a mailer to every taxpayer, because then you know you've got an address.
That's where that grant will come in
That'd be a good
handy.
idea.
I just, I
No,
really want.
that's smart, I like that idea.
I really wanna know how many people, because so many houses that were seasonal are now full
And
year
QR
time,
code.
full
Yeah.
time residents,
Yeah.
right? And a lot about our town plan talks about like, you know. We have to be careful about seasonal, you know, short-term rentals, because the impact on the roads and the traffic, but like, I think there's more people living, I mean, you know, you've been here a long time. Are there more people actually living in Facein now than there were before?
Before when? Before COVID?
Before COVID, like,
There's a lot more people around. I don't know if they're living here or they're just here. It's unclear to me,
So
but there's a
that-
lot more traffic. They drive everywhere, yeah,
and this is putting those little rubber hoses across the roads to figure out how. many
That's
cars
something
drive down
else.
the road.
Yeah.
Like, we need data.
In this book, I believe they did German Flats and North Basin Road. Maybe we can go. I think another place they talked about was down near the Triangle or whatever you guys call it, by,
no,
The-
Center Facein and.
no, the Triangle,
No, where the.
Oh, you mean at Bragg Hill?
No.
yeah, right. So the dispensary,
17 and-
local
17 and
houses.
That's the center
Oh,
of
seven,
Irisville.
seven, yeah.
Huh?
That's the center of Irisville.
Yes.
Oh, I think of Irisville, just, I just.
I think of Irisville as the intersection of 17-100 Bragg Hill by the Chinese restaurant.
I think the center of Irisville is at the Irisville
I
Country
think,
Store.
I think of that as the area that's ripe for a roundabout, as
As
much as I
That's been
hate.
talked
I
about.
hate
ad
roundabouts, I don't
nauseam.
want, Park City is the land of roundabouts.
Just don't put it.
That
The
would
around
roundabouts are
other
the
spots.
solution to every traffic issue, and it's just absurd, so no, I say that facetiously. Again.
That'd be a crazy roundabout.
They used to just hire a cop on busy ski days to be there at the end of the day.
So back to the plan.
Back to the plan.
The plan,
So what I'm finding in this plan is each chapter has goals and objectives. Some of those objectives are measurable and some of them are less subjective. I think would probably be prudent is for us to revisit each of these goals and these objectives. Maybe get Carol or some of the people who are before and say, what were you thinking? Like, what, you know, what were you thinking behind writing some of these ideas? And how would you measure whether we made any progress towards them? And I think that these goals and objectives could form some of the questions we have in our survey, because they're telling us to do things. And I'm not so sure how we're doing that. And I think if these goals and objectives are what the previous planning commission wanted to pursue, we ought to be talking about and determining whether we're doing them or not. Are we achieving any of these goals? There's a lot of specifics in here.
There are a couple of things in the goals and objectives that we need to. Get a little history on as they talk about creating these overlay districts and stuff like that, and I. Can say that I've heard that that went badly, so that's why those overlay districts never happened. So, but like I said, I've heard that, I don't know that to be fact.
are you talking about like how they wanted to limit development above 2,000 feet or something?
Well, we already have that, through the forest district and our LURs are written accordingly to really prevent any development over 2,000 or 2,500 feet.
Because
That's the
Cal talked
forest.
about something in the last meeting about how they pushed stuff to the select board and the select board pushed back and said no.
Yeah, there was something in here, I read it earlier,
I mean, here's one.
but the over 2,000 square feet, that was handled when they created the forest reserve district, I think.
Okay. What are you saying, Michael? Sorry.
There's a lot of specific stuff here, like identify the town's most productive forest lands. To promote sustainable silviculture practices for these lands.
That's the one, and then does it talk about creating some sort of overlay districts?
What's this thing? What page you on?
Well,
79?
79, I
I'm
mean,
very close to that.
it's 2H, so did we do that?
2H.
Do we know where our most productive forest land, do we have a forest management plan in place for that?
I mean,
The town doesn't, the landowners do.
yeah, I mean, they're cutting in Fen Basin right now aggressively. Like.
So no one's come to talk to me, I mean, I don't know what's going on, I mean,
Do you
I
have
talked
a
to the
forester?
doctor Yesterday.
pardon?
Do you have a forester?
Yes. And the guy just came to my property the other day.
Consider establishing a conservation
Never talked
overlay
about this.
district. It didn't go well.
Where's that?
80.
On page
Objective
80?
3D,
3B.
D, as in dog.
Consider establishing a conservation overlay district.
That was the 2,000 feet?
No, that was one of the ones where I think it didn't go well, and that's why we don't have a conservation overlay district. The only overlay district we have is a flood hazard overlay district,
Oh, so basically make an area where it has to be conserved.
pretty much.
So I think what would be nice is to have each of these, every chapter's got these goals and objectives and have kind of a list of them. In kind of a, like a little traffic light, are we green on it? Amber?
So
or-
the
or
question
red?
is, are we preparing for the update town plan, or are we now gonna just start working on? the 20
Educating ourselves on this.
And working on the goals and objectives from the 2020 plan?
If you look, I mean, it's 5 people in a room. Somehow ADUs got put up to 90% because that was on someone's agenda. We all have our own agendas. Maybe they're good, maybe they're bad, who knows, doesn't matter. Point being. This document was written by a bunch of people in a room just like us. They had specific needs and wants. And we're supposed to be representing what the town needs and wants, not what we need and want. And you can read a lot of personal preference in this
And the
stuff.
town plan is very much supposed to be,
The town,
wants,
what
and
the
that's why
town
it's so
needs.
important to go from this, because the town votes on it.
yeah,
And go from
Yeah,
here.
so the question is it our job to try to meet these goals and objectives of the prior commission?
now that, well, that, not
As we
only
do.
that, we're also in the 2-minute warning,
We're all seeing the what?
in the 2-minute warning.
Yes.
Like, we're getting ready to update the 2028
So-
town plan, and
so-
we're now just
It
gonna.
was their job to implement those goals and objectives, if you ask me.
Except people are so exhausted by the time they're done this, they all peace out.
Yeah.
And you start all new and nobody knows what
So
they're
nothing,
doing.
yeah, so right.
That's
so
why-
so
They
I,
create this town plan and now none of them are around.
I think what's important is in our outreach program that we're gonna get a grant for, that us in this room need to develop. A questionnaire that references the things here, the ideas and objectives that the previous regime had. And puts that out to the public to find out if that's what they actually care about, or if it's something else.
That's a good idea.
I want that survey.
Like
Right,
a
but
real survey. so
this
you-
was put out to the public with a survey and all of that. And so you have to, and they vote on it, the public votes on this. So this is what they wanted at that time.
I mean, and in your heart of hearts, you believe that these people actually read this entire document?
No.
Like,
There are a lot of people who are really hot about this stuff,
yeah. And they're, yeah,
and there are people who did read it, and there are people who didn't, like, right? And plus a small town where everybody talked to each other,
yeah.
and you go to town meeting and you talk to people.
206 individuals responded to the survey back in 2019.
206
Out of
out of,
860, or are we up to 1,200 now?
No, I think we're at 1300.
It gets, and that's where things get a little wonky, right? Cause,
That's once again, the outreach, how many people actually live in Facein?
well, that's part of this. 163 full-time, 32 part-timers, 11 of those own property facing but do not reside in the town.
So the survey data, that's
Gets you some of
actually what
that.
those people are, right? But if you look at the, I mean, I've read this entire document, if you, the data that's in here is,
Obsolete.
it's obsolete at this point because.
2020 changed everything.
2020 changed everything, and if you just look at the property transfers, it's insane. It went from, 50 to 60 transfers to 100, 110, 115. And don't even get me started on how much the houses cost.
Ah.
In 2020, residents under 6 acres, there was 23 sales, average $380,000, median was 345. Right? Take that to 2022,
That was like, I wanted to get.
residents
survey
under
prepared.
6 acres,
The
24
questions are
movements,
good.
$529,000.
And you want continuity also in the questions.
Yeah, we'll have a copy of the old survey.
And I think that Carol can give us the intent, and I think it would be sensible for us to keep what our intentions are for each section.
And it'd be nice if Carol could tell us, how did they measure this? Where's their progress report?
But again, everybody was gone.
No, there is no progress report.
There's no progress report, I'll tell you that,
Whoa, whoa,
there's
whoa,
no
whoa.
progress.
Whoa.
Huh?
I just came on this year.
Nah,
You came on this year or
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah,
You came on last year.
Last year.
You came last
And then the
year.
year before.
Okay, so somebody was on the planning committee up till 2022, 2023.
I'll give you the,
Doug.
I'll give you the rundown,
So-
they
so
updated
those-
this in
those-
2020. They updated this in 2020. Once this got approved, they went to work on the 2000, they started working on the land use regulations. Then when that was done, the group was mingling, because I was here at this point, they were mingling between what they're, and they were, I believe you received a document from Karen, and you were like, what is this? They started going into the goals and objectives, but it was
They want
so,
to reach through.
nothing really ever
Just like you
happened
don't.
with it, so there is no,
A little.
there,
Okay.
there is nothing.
Okay, so so now I have to ask the question. There was a lot of work that went into this,
yes,
so what, and we're trying to figure out how we're gonna sign up for a lot of work.
Yes.
And where are we gonna go with this? If we're basically just developing this document, which sounds really good and has a lot of high-minded stuff.
And then,
Nowhere does it say, we're gonna build houses everywhere, but that's what's happening. And,
you think they're building houses everywhere?
well, I read there's an awful lot of like development review board things for subdivisions.
Okay,
There's constantly subdivision discussions. Okay, and I'm not really reading that there's gonna be a lot of subdivisions developed. I see a lot of stuff here. We're gonna maintain the rural, the look and thing,
what chapter are you on?
and all these chapters.
Because in housing, foster
Land use
development of
goals.
housing that covers a wide range of home prices, accommodate changing demographics and a more balanced community. And it says, consider reducing or waiving development fees, tax incentives, impact fees, or other methods that could help foster affordable housing.
Okay,
I mean, there's a
Okay.
whole, I mean, I focused on housing, when I was reading this, like, it's just 10 chapters.
yeah, and I was focusing on transportation.
Yeah, I
Because,
focused on housing.
our discussions about the Med River Path, I mean, they, one of the objectives in here is. Add bicycle and pedestrian facilities to the local transportation network, especially along Route 17.
and the. matter-
Encourage off-road trails and paths for walking and bicycling. Work with other valley towns and volunteer groups such as the Mad River Path Association, the Catamount Trail Vast, and the Mad River Riders to develop a network of bicycle paths and trails throughout the valley. Encourage landowners to dedicate easements to permanently protect trails. Right, so that dovetails into what we, briefly touched on at the last meeting about the corridor. And it's all here in black and white. And it sounds lovely, but to what end? I agree. It's sort of like,
Yeah, so I
because
can.
now we're on to writing the next one and.
That's my point. I'm trying to finish my thought is basically, do we want to even bother putting out land use goals and objectives if we don't have the time to even do them?
Well, I think that's one of the things is we start bringing in data and these things, you have to have goals and objectives, it's a
But
required.
my point.
But you have to create tangible, you guys, as the planning commission, when we do the 2028, you would like to see tangible items that can be measured or worked upon.
Well, I'm trying to understand what this document needs to look like. The historical stuff's all interesting, it's educational, but there's a lot of work here. Land use goals and objectives for every of these topics. And I asked the question, who's doing this? And who's monitoring it? And I'm hearing this piecemeal, ad hoc.
No, what you're hearing is nobody.
Well, I mean, you're not,
Yeah,
it's not nobody, depending on the section. I am one of the people that does work with that. So in last month's conversation, you guys got to talking about the town plan and the land use regulations. The town plan is. There's nothing in this book that I can do or enforce, right? But that's why the planning commission, as soon as they get done updating the town plan, they update the land use regulations to reflect the changes made in the town plan. And the zoning administrator is then tasked with enforcing the land use regulations literally. So that's
You
one way
have
of
to
doing
have
it.
a town plan in order to have any zoning laws. So
Okay.
that's why you have a town
I
plan.
understand that. This is a really nice document, I think 46 pages. And I'm trying to understand, in 2028, are we gonna have 146 pages? Or are we
Probably
gonna
more.
have?
We have to add 3 more sections.
What are the 3 sections?
We'll get that
We're
next
gonna
month
get
when
that,
Central
yeah.
Vermont comes and talks to us
Oh,
about
okay.
this.
Wow,
We just,
so do we wanna have all these goals? I can't, even- I didn't make a list of all of them, but there's gotta be maybe
But you have, but
75.
again, you have to have goals and objectives.
Okay.
Right, there's like, each section has like 3 objectives in there, each objective has like 15
Yeah,
parts.
do
of it,
we
like,
wanna
it's a lot.
have
Yeah,
a more truncated list of goals and objectives that we can?
we shall see, because we
Yeah,
will,
find out.
we will work on it. We will, Central Vermont, they've got to approve it. Select board has to approve it. I will probably also run it by the town attorney.
It seems to me like we don't know.
There's a
Right.
lot.
Well,
There's a lot we don't know about the
But
town
we're
plan and
scoping,
how
we're
it relates to
scoping, we're
each
scoping about
district.
what this is gonna look like. We're having a conversation. And I'm trying to get my head around all this work. And what's gonna come of it.
You can quit now.
yeah, it's in a, we just bang our head.
Or dig in.
The reality of the situation is you have to.
We're
have
not
this-
even at the work yet, so.
Yeah, the town plan is written, and then we use the
Planning for the
LURs to help make the town plan happen by changing. The stipulations on making subdevelopment, by making it more attractive for affordable housing, by changing. The other thing, like LURs,
Honestly, it's based on where we live.
what,
Never mind.
No,
I'm
no,
driving-
you have
driving
something to
into the
say?
weeds.
what?
Nothing. I'm
Okay,
going
it's
into the
fine.
weeds.
I mean. Basin's a tough place to live. For some people, I mean, you know, if you're in affordable housing and you own a house to make it affordable, if it's a 3-bedroom house, it can't be sold for more than $327,000, that's it. For a 3-bedroom house, that makes it affordable, so you buy a house,
Where'd you find that?
that's the VHFA document, this is not in the town plan. Housing was what I was focused on for the town plan, so I came to the meeting with that. You know, in Washington County,
Vermont. Me
what?
and him, we're gonna start talking about that. I'm gonna get Central Vermont out here.
Okay.
The reason I was interested in the maps,
Yeah.
I think as we go through this, if we understand what those overlay districts are.
Yeah.
And talk about this section by section, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So that we understand how it all goes together.
Hmm.
And then. Have intelligent conversation about it and look at the water situation in each of those areas, look at the. I don't know, whatever else, the forest that's going on there, what development would be appropriate for that.
We'll get him.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you, in the town plan, like, there's a lot of like,
Vermont
sort
out
of
here.
NIMBYism,
You guys
it's like,
can work on the.
they talk about how we need to have more commercial districts.
This is very.
But we
progressive.
shouldn't
This is
have it in
sorry.
Facein, we should just put it in the Irisville, you know, commercial districts, you know, they talk about that. And, you know, we're part of the Mad River Valley, it's the towns all work together, we all rely on each other, we all work together, that's how it works, it's the only way it works. And what do we wanna turn, what do you want Facein to look like?
It's gonna be March 10th again.
Well, and does it make sense?
Yeah, I mean, like the 65-foot setback from the center of a road, that's supposed to, so you don't see houses from the road.
It used to be
It used to be
100.
100.
Used to be 100, so it's like, and
They
so
cut it down.
they cut it
To
down
ease it
to-
up for people.
to make it so people could build more houses and to make more pieces of property buildable, to allow to have more houses. And that's the town plan, Michael, that's what that comes down
But
to.
costs have gone up. I mean, this sounds ridiculous. Curtain rods.
Yeah,
I quoted something a month ago. And something cost me $2,500. I just got a price on something very similar, $3,600.
Mm.
It's my cost, right? So that's the increase in such a short time.
Where are they made? In the US? I think a lot of people are trying to have living wages now. And a lot of these programs are costing people more. But that's part of it. Yeah,
I mean, we need housing in the valley, we need a lot of things in the valley, but if. I mean, Waitsfield needs to really pull the brunt of that because they're gonna have town septic, You can have denser development when you don't have to have septic fields for everyone.
But it depends on what this river
No, they'll be fine. I mean,
building.
they're approved for permitting, aren't they?
The wastewater system?
Yeah, they're
As
just
far as I
now,
know, that's like. I mean, JB would know a lot more about it than I.
feel as though they might be permitted.
Yeah, I think that's made it through engineering. and
Now they're
everything else.
getting into the actual pay for it.
Yeah,
Does that
And
seem-
some
seem about
phase-
right?
but that's, with the only way we can do, like, build denser development is when you.
And they have the water and wastewater and they get that +1 on
This,
that.
I looked up affordable housing, I wanted to know what affordable housing was, how
yeah,
affordable
I'm trying to
housing was.
understand it too.
Do you know, what?
One of my customers does housing across the country.
Yeah.
And they said, anywhere in the US right now, if you're not doing 100 units, they can't even come close.
Yeah. To build. Yeah,
All right, I'm gonna suggest that we, anything else on this? I think that was a really solid start. I mean, obviously. There's a lot to digest. There's a lot of, there's more questions and answers, obviously, Michael. But there's guidelines we have to follow and, we'll do our best to look at how it was done in the past and, keeping in mind that, what we said, we're 5 commissioners and, we're gonna bring our own perspectives to the table. Item 6 is liaison reports. I will go first. The Medway Valley Planning District meeting on January 16th. I had to leave after about an hour. I had a conflict with another Zoom. The hour that I saw was discussing what we just touched on was the funding, the permitting, the engineering and permitting work is in progress. They did a bunch of field work in December. Did some load testing. They're doing some test boring,
For where?
for the wastewater
Ah,
project, for the
okay.
Waitsfield wastewater project. They've done some boring, and then a lot of time on funding. So they're going after a United States Department of Agriculture Rural Development app. They're bringing in some USDA staff to give them a tour. Vermont Community Development Project grant application, they're, again, finished second on a project priority list. And, so they're going through all of the funding, requests right now, figure out how to pay for it. I stepped away, but, there was, further discussion on transportation, recreation, flood climate resilience, series with the, Friends of the Mad River, that they're continuing to have. Brief discussion on the UVM Medical Center cuts, which always seems to come up, and that seems to be dying down a little bit. That was about, looks like about it. So, yeah, that sums up that sums it up. Again, there's another, there's a meeting scheduled for, the 20th, which is not this week, it's next week, so I was off by a week, but I will be zooming into that one. I will be out of town on the 20th. Okay, Andrew.
Yes, so Vermont, Central Vermont Regional Planning. We talked about the municipal planning grants. And then the other chunk of the meeting was spent on the, for the regional plan that they're updating. They're going by chapter, and this chapter was about infrastructure, which they're thinking about calling utilities, facilities, and services instead of infrastructure. And they went through a bunch of changes.
That's a chapter that we will have to add to our town plan.
I don't know, this is for the regional plan,
Okay,
but I don't know if we have to match that.
We'll find out next month.
But yeah, this was more just making changes. They're mostly making changes to the,
Okay.
to their chapter. And they're doing a lot of, sort of like what you were saying, looking at the goals and the objectives. And seeing that if, if this body can even dictate those goals and
Mhm.
objectives. And
Yeah,
then
that's-
removing things that don't make sense for this.
yeah. Is it stuff that they can actually impact
Right.
or not? Yeah.
And so
That's
they are, in like this case, they removed a couple things that they just don't have any say over really.
Okay.
Can you give us an FYI, so we,
Like an example, let's see, well, changing the title is. It's kind of dense, there's a PowerPoint I can send you.
I was just looking for something, like a little snippet, like what are they changing? And how would that affect us, but,
Well, so from the PowerPoint, I think recommended removal of strategies that Central Vermont Regional Planning has no pathway to influence
Exactly.
funding or power. In parentheses, that's one bullet, but they don't give any examples. This is like the first introduction to the changes they're gonna make. And then like the next one is move to other chapter goals and strategies that are better suited for those chapters.
Mhm.
Okay,
But my point is maybe that first thing is we should have for our town planning, remove goals and objectives and things that we have no influence over.
Yeah.
Or we can't measure. In this thing, there's a lot in here.
and then there's been an ongoing discussion about the designation of the Montpelier Growth Center. That there's one very vocal opponent of, who doesn't think it was done correctly. Doesn't pertain too much to us.
Growth center. Growth center.
If you can designate a growth center, you can skip a lot of regulations now with some of the changes they've made.
250.
Hmm.
We meet tomorrow night.
All right, Michael, Mad River Path, please.
Okay, we have a meeting tomorrow, the advisory committee does, And this is all preparation for the public meeting, which is gonna be March 26th. And, at that public meeting, we'll be presenting some path alternatives and getting feedback from the public on the paths, ideas for how to go around certain areas. And, discuss the scoping progress that's been done. There is a really good website that, they put together. And I'd like it if you could put this in the minutes, the website like that, and pass that down. And it is, I'll just show it here, it's like, Misha put this together, how we work, it's got some of the statistics so far with the Mad River Path, there's 15 miles of pathways and trails. 1,860 foot of boardwalk. 50 businesses within 100 yards. And we're planning to get more, and he's got in here a really nice landowner liability protection. Information for the landowners, because most of this is gonna go on, not most, but some of this is gonna go on, private lands. And so we've got trail access easements, this is the kind of things that, we're working on, for easements. I noticed in our town plan, there's objectives for getting in, more paths and working with landowners to try to, donate or provide tax abatements if they provide paths and things. So there's some linkages with what was in the town plan with what we're trying to do in the Mad River Path. But this is a really nice website, and actually, it references the Vermont statute about, I'm new to Vermont, but I'm delighted to see there's limitations on landowner liability. When I live in the state of New York, I live in constant fear of being sued, and I have been sued for people doing stuff in the land they shouldn't have been doing, and so allegedly it's my fault.
We're the best in the country at
Yeah,
that.
so this is a really nice statute. But I encourage people to go on this website, put it in the minutes, please, that website. there.
Is it madriverpath.org?
Yeah, and it's madriverpath.org, and it's how we work it's got a nice little
Okay.
webpage there, but you go in there, it's nice. And Paul,
Can I keep that?
you can, let me see that one there, is that email?
I have
mean,
the,
it has your-
I
has
have
your
the,
notes.
I have the, easement one. You have notes on
I'll
that.
just put how we work right
He's
here.
gonna want that back.
Yeah, and Paul, he's still trying to.
Is it
Yeah,
how,
I'll give it
I'll
back
just
to
go ahead.
Jack.
How we work.
We'll get it. I've been super
I know that I
Oh,
put
this
this
crazy
crazy
busy.
busy all days.
Okay,
living it up.
but anyway, I'm pretty excited about what Misha's, he's a driver. And he's doing a good job there, and he's working with a lot of landowners. Yeah, it came off the website. And it came right off of this launch.
Yep.
One of those little links.
Yeah, but this will be a reminder for me to redouble my efforts.
You can actually have this too if you want. Okay. But, I'm really excited how Misha's driving this and working to really make this happen, this path. So, yeah, next public meeting is
26.
March 26th.
Where and what time?
I don't know at this time where it's gonna be. The last one's at tomorrow. I don't know for sure. I'll find that out tomorrow.
We'll have our meeting, we'll have a meeting the week before that, so.
What I could
Couple
do
weeks before.
is if I find out tomorrow, I could call Jason, you can put it in minutes.
Sure.
Okay, so.
Is it not, is it on the website?
No, it doesn't have it. on the
Okay.
website yet.
Yeah, just give me a
So-
call, maybe I'll be here.
Okay, that's that.
Awesome, thank you. Is there any other business?
If you give me a couple minutes of your time, Jason and I's pet project is section 4.3 campers and temporary shelters, and I'd like to propose a revision at the next meeting, show up to it, but I just want, maybe if we could spend 5 minutes talking about what you wanna have that look like. Okay, if Jason could communicate about, just because I'd like to change it a little bit, because
What
after
page,
speaking with
Jason?
Carol about basically.
I
hooking up-
wanna pull up what we have.
Yeah, it's what you have, section 4.3.
Land use regs?
land use reg.
Yes.
Campers and temporary
Camper,
shelters. So rather than, so we'll get the punctuation right and everything else, I say that as a joke, but it's the truth. So that. The issue is, based on what I had a conversation with Carol, who wrote this document. She doesn't see a problem with people hooking up electricity through an extension cord to their tent, camper, etc. But if you read it by the letter of law, the way Jason reads it, you cannot have electricity hooked up to your tent, camper, or anything like that. I think her intention was, if you go to a campground, there's like that big
35 amp hookup.
35 amp hookup, but you plug into it, like, she doesn't wanna see people having like hardwire conduit into the vehicle. And Jason, would you want to change it from park to what word?
I don't know what word to use for it, but it says there, it shall be unlawful for any person to park. A camper or whatever on a site, or,
But this says you can do it in a residential or undeveloped lot.
I don't like the word park.
No, this is 4.4.
Because it implies like if you own one.
Like if
then
you have
can't
one of those,
park it
if
there.
you have like a little travel trailer that you drive, and you just drive somewhere, you go up on to a lot. And you park it and then get out, maybe blow some leaves off, or. This came about on Old Quarry Road because it wasn't a single family residence. It wasn't undeveloped. So in this situation, I don't like the word park, it's more about the use of it. I think the spirit of this regulation is to prevent two site campgrounds from popping up all over the place. But the word park, every time a certain person went up to their lot to either go sweep off a platform or cut the grass or whatever, I was getting a phone call saying, they're here, they're parking it. Well, they weren't using it, they were just parking it and then.
But
when
they
it was
can
done-
use it as long as it's less than 90 days.
But it wasn't a residential lot. It was. What kind of lot
Or
was
on an undeveloped lot.
Yeah,
it? It was an outdoor recreational facility.
wait, I'm trying to understand, so somebody owns some property. In Facein,
Yes.
and they don't have a and they bring their trailer.
Or they just drove their little thing.
Or
It
they-
did start, it did start with a
So
tow
they're
behind
coming
trailer.
to, so they're coming to their own property to visit,
Mhm.
and what's wrong with that?
They park in their RV.
You said it's an outdoor. recreation
But it-
facility?
But in effect, they weren't
No,
just
it
doing
wasn't an
it.
accessory use to a single family residence, the only thing there was some tent platforms.
Wait, I'm trying to understand this case, so is the lot undeveloped?
No,
Is it residential?
no,
What is it?
outdoor recreation facility.
And platform.
10 platforms, they have 10 platforms on their
They have
property.
a tent platform.
The
at this
gentleman-
time.
Well, now they have acres, they're selling the property, but
The person that's driving, so, you ever seen those camper vans, like they build them out, right? So you can daily that, right? So the gentleman is arriving where he's got 10 platforms on his property and he's parking it to do maintenance on the property, blow leaves. And the neighbor is using this reg to call and make a complaint to Jason.
But in effect, correct me if I'm wrong. He had many tent platforms.
No, two.
I'm not speaking on this subject.
Well, I'm trying to
Okay,
understand.
and was. Okay, so we don't know what was going on there.
Before I
So-
can comment on this regulation, I need to understand.
Last time he called, it was
What's
on two
going
tent
on?
platforms on site.
So basically.
Okay. and how
Parking
many
something and
campers?
use it, so the use
Just
for,
the one
so
that you
you
drove
roll
up
up
there.
with your camper van or your trailer, right?
on my
Yeah,
property.
my
Would
thoughts.
you call it parking, or what would you call that? When you put it in a spot, is it parked or is it being used? We just wanna change the word, the English word, from park to, it is unlawful for a person to use a camper, travel, recreational vehicle, or other temporary structure, rather than park.
Wait a minute,
What-
so we've got friends coming cross-country
Yes,
and they're
You're
gonna have a big party at my house.
yes.
And they can't sleep in their van in my
Freddie,
yard?
you have,
I want-
you're on your lot, you have a residential lot.
Right, I wanna change this reg, so you can legally run an extension cord when they show up with their camper at your house. I want them to be able to hook up a hose from your house and an electric cord from your house and plug it into their camper. and live for the 2 to 3 days of your party without breaking any LURs. But right now, if they hook up water and electric from your house, they're breaking an LUR. So I want to change that so they can do that. That's what I want to change this reg to say. I want people to be able to hook up their camper to electric and water from their house, and I'm already very glad that their septic has to be properly dealt with per state code. I just want to make it clear that people can do that.
I plugged in my van this afternoon.
I want that to be clear that you can
I'm
do
gonna be
that.
sleeping in it tonight.
My solar panels are covered in snow, so my
Yeah.
battery will.
So what I want to revise in 4.3 is that you're allowed, I want to make it so you can hook it up to utilities in a temporary structure, like plug in. I want to make that clear, and I want to change it from park to use or something.
Use as a.
How about park
Use.
and or use?
No,
No,
you don't want and or,
Someone to be able to.
you wanna be able to park.
Right?
That's what I mean. You can park there, cause you wanna be able to own it and park it in your own yard. For as long as you want.
And do you think that the 90 days, what's your feeling on this 90 days thing?
I don't see the difference between a tiny home. A mobile home and a camper.
Okay,
I'll tell you the difference.
I mean, I
Water,
understand
wastewater permit.
why, if you've got a septic,
They would have to have a water wastewater permit. At some point, they have one, right? I mean,
like there was a, right up here.
but like, for example,
There
if
was
you
one.
were to,
And they used to park there all
if
summer.
you were to build an ADU on your property, you would have to amend your wastewater permit. So,
Mhm.
you know, you don't just go by the old one, you have to have it amended.
Right, sometimes I look at these and I just think they've got their own septic capacity, as long as someone is dealing with the septic.
Yeah, take care of it. I
Appropriately.
think, I like the way ours handles it, as long as it's taken care of in a little way.
Okay, I'm all for this, and 5 minutes, so this is part of new business, we're gonna have a proper discussion on this, it'll be an agenda item for our next.
yeah, but I'm gonna bring a document, so I just wanted.
Why don't you email it to
Perfect.
us beforehand, so. we
That would be a great idea.
How about you do this? You email it to me.
Yeah.
And I will email it to them.
I will do that.
Can we also include what is the issue? Like, what are we trying to fix?
I wanna make.
You
sure
just
people
said,
can
he
hook
just,
power and water.
he just said it, he said what happened is, not pointing to specifics or any incidents. Somebody came, got to his property, parked his van. And the neighbors ratted him out because he'd parked his van. And
Well, that's a subsequent issue. My issue is that right now, when Carol and the planning commission wrote this in the LURs. They intended to allow people to hook an extension cord and a hose to their vehicle. But the way that Jason's reading it and the way it's being enforced, you're not allowed to do that. So I just want to make that clear.
Right.
That's my whole
Right.
4.3
we
thing.
wanna be able to, for 90 days, whatever the time frame is, you wanna be able to have a hookup, and if you have.
Use it.
And I look, why are we limiting it to 90 days?
Yeah.
Like I know people who've lived in their campers while they built the house.
Well,
So
that's-
when I was building
Somebody
my,
who was on that wrote this sucker.
Well, so part C of 4.3.
I had a little teardrop camper when I first got here. And, we were building the house, and we had a small apartment, and garage, and, you know, Reba's old house, but anyway, I plugged in my
We're gonna
teardrop.
do a park.
In the utilities,
Right?
leave the 90 days for now.
You
and
like the 90 days?
Wait till after town plan to do a full workup on this,
Okay,
so we can get really good information on that.
it's just like, if we're gonna push it through the whole process, I just,
What are these vehicles that I keep seeing out here?
They come, they go, they drop kids off. I was watching that truck. Yeah, I think he may have been using the internet though. They come in here to use the internet, I think.
Oh.
Cause he came in slow too. I watched him come in. It was creepy.
alright, so I'm gonna change it from park.
Get a little
to-
nervous.
I'm gonna change it from park to use.
Come up with something good.
Something.
Use as a
Yeah.
recreational vehicle
Yeah,
or.
don't forget your commas and.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to Jason.
Okay.
And then we're gonna get it, so you can hook it to a water system and utilities, that's okay. And then, can someone explain to me, so a camper or temporary structure may be occupied for greater than 90 days on a residential lot if permitted as a principal or accessory dwelling in accordance with these regulations. So I'd have to come and pull a permit?
There's a lot that goes into that. It's way more than just what that is. Like, it would have to, cause you would have to have a water wastewater permit. You're no longer just being a camper. You wanna make it permanent. I
Yeah,
wouldn't touch that right now, cause then you're getting, I think you're getting into, A&R stuff, so.
I don't wanna change that. What I'm saying is, but what that means is. If you talk to Gunnar McCain and you get your septic system certified to do the house, which is 500 gallons. a
Yeah,
day.
I can, if it's somehow it's permanent, like a mobile home or a tiny home, for example, is made permanent somehow. Whether it's jacked up and tires taken off, or they attach a deck or something like that, it's made permanent, it's written in the water language.
Okay,
So, and that goes also under, I forget where we can't discriminate on the type of house. It's in here, I forget the name of the section, so we can't like discriminate against the mobile home. So an RV, if it's ready to go and it works and it's got all proper permitting and it meets. It could be treated as a dwelling unit.
but that's a whole nother process.
It's a
with
whole other
waste, state
process. It's
wastewater
not a
certificate
camper or
occupancy.
temporary structure.
So we don't have to worry about that. So I'm just gonna change it so they can use the utilities and we're gonna change it from park to something else. Cool. Thank you.
Occupy.
Occupy's good.
Just don't like the word park.
Right.
Just like-
Okay, right on, that's good as well. Announcements, our next meeting is going to be March 10th. Same time, same place. Any other announcements?
Probably after town meeting day.
That is after town meeting day, the town meeting day is the 4th.
I just wanna bring up something about the agenda. We're doing the public comments now. We're gonna put that on there. People come up, they're gonna talk. I think, and I went over, I think we should put a time limit on it, 3 minutes. They get 3 minutes to come in here and talk. We are not to interrupt them in their 3 minutes, or if we do, clock starts and stops. And we shouldn't, and we really should try to avoid engaging in that subject at that point, because you haven't done anything. You haven't researched it, you don't really know what you're talking about.
No snarky comments?
Yeah, it's just in general, like, oh, well, we should do, like, we don't know if we should do that. Thank you for bringing that to our attention, and we will look into it.
Smart.
I think limiting people, if you've got a big group, makes sense. Otherwise, I think it comes across as you don't want to hear from people of the town.
But it's also,
been on a school board
but you have to,
meeting,
whatever the
400
rule
people
is,
showed up?
it always has to be the same, that's my thing, though,
Yeah.
if you have 20 people here, it's the same as if we had 2 people here. This way, it's equal, it's never changes. It doesn't have to be 3 minutes, it could be 4, it could be 5, you know.
Abrupt, I'd say 5.
But 3 minutes, if we were asked to get up and talk for 3 minutes right now, it's a lot of time. I think we all done that in school, we had to get up and speak for 6 minutes or whatever, we've done that, right? It's a lot of time. Especially if you're not being interrupted or engaging.
My 2 cents on this is, I don't know what problem we're trying to solve.
Oh, I know exactly the problem we're trying to solve. If you don't put a time limit on meetings and a group of people get in there, they hijack the meeting. This is a practice done all across the United States on public comment sections.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like we've got a big problem.
I have-
No, we don't, but I just wanna be consistent,
So
whether
where are we
there's 2
publishing
people.
this? time?
No, nothing yet, it would go in our rules and procedures or whatever.
For our meeting rules?
Yeah.
Okay,
How about we have the right to institute a time limit?
Then if you shorten it up on
Yeah.
somebody, then you have the appearance that you're silencing them, if you're always the same.
Yeah, you can't make it be subjective, you
But-
can't
but-
say we reserve the right to cut you off at any moment.
No, right, but if we said, if a meeting shows up in it, or a public comment and give a period of time as a max. I don't know, it just,
It seems, I'm.
It's considered best practice all over the country.
It may be, Jason.
Yeah,
but
all
this
across
is a
big
small
cities.
town- This is a small town.
Exactly.
And I've been here for a year in this planning commission. And I've never had a time where I felt somebody was dominating the conversation from the public. Maybe I'm guilty of it with my pedantic reviews of stuff. But I
Okay.
think that when the public came.
When the next
they gave
public,
us-
when the next
they gave-
public comment person that gets up and dominates a 30-minute segment of your meeting next time, let me know.
Agreed, but we could then. if
No,
that's-
you
if-
didn't.
If we start having that issue, but the time
did.
that I've been here, we had the public come in here, I thought they had some good feedback, and I'd like to hear them out, and I didn't wanna feel like they were cut off. I mean, if I
Well,
was,
we can let them go. It's
Mike, we're
beyond
gonna-
3 minutes and we're.
We're gonna
you know,
start
it's-
talking about some stuff that people have real opinions about, and that's when they're gonna hijack. If we start talking about short-term rentals, you're gonna have people come in here and just destroy us.
And I'm just thinking about being consistent and equal and fair to everybody, that's all. Not saying, okay, well, this day, we're gonna do 6 minutes, and this day.
I
we
think
don't
you need to have a
any-
policy, I think you need to have a policy in place
And choose or not to institute it.
Yeah, and how you go about enforcing it, you know, there's gonna be wiggle room, right? But yeah, I think you have to have a policy in place again that you can cite, that you can point to if things start to, you know.
And you gotta play it by
Yeah.
ear, you talking, someone's got a speech impediment.
Right,
or
yeah,
Something like
no.
that, you gotta, it's an accessibility issue.
You have to
gotta
take
go-
you have to take all the facts and circumstances into account, and they'll be, you know, we're not gonna be rude to people, Michael, you know, just for the sake of, 3 minutes, it's not. But I think you have to have that policy in place. In a situation arises where there is the potential for a meeting to get hijacked, you have to have a rule in place that you can cite to. Again, you have to have a regulation to keep,
You have to have rules.
you have to have rules.
We never did on the school board. And we
Like
had,
last week's public
Hundreds
comment
of
section
people.
went on for, I think, 38 minutes.
38 minutes?
Yeah,
Last month.
last,
But you know, like school board meetings now, I bet you a lot of the school
you-
board.
and now they do, they got 14 people on the board, they can't get anything done.
Well,
we
but I'm
need
saying,
a time limit just with the commission.
I'm just talking about like school, across the country, how school board meetings have now it's become a real flashpoint for activism, in, curriculums and book banning, that sort of thing, and so school boards, I mean, some of the, that's one of the most intensely contested areas in our local politics, and that's by design, and there's, it's part of a certain, there are certain folks that are encouraging that level of involvement on that basic grassroots level. School boards are really easy to come in and create change, without having to, you can overwhelm a school board, right, without too much difficulty. So it's a strategy that is being employed by, certain people that are pushing their agendas.
We also never had a need for a public comment section before, which is always like people speak their mind anyway.
38 minutes?
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, I was doing the minutes and I was like, that's it. Eve?
Do I have a motion to adjourn? Any discussion on adjourning? All in favor? Aye.
Mike,
We-
Michael, you told me you were definitely interested in re-upping or
Yeah.
reappointment.
yeah,
I just wanted to
Oh,
bring it
you
up.
only for a year?
And it's been,
No, it's just, cause he finished seats, so just the way it works out, like, and I just wanna make sure we're still good on that, going into that time of year. I have you and 2 on DRB.
It's good.
Yep.
Save some money. Few more years. in it.
How is the DRB these days?
DRB is okay.
It's good.
Yeah, no, it's pretty
I gotta get
good.
my wife to come in. Wants to get involved. You need an alternate, right?
I need a letter of interest,
Yeah, I know.
and because I got two people interested.
Okay. You need alternates, you need main.
No, I need an alternate, and I may need two alternates, I don't know.
Okay,
Been skiing?
Skied yesterday,
where'd you go today?
work.
Oh, sorry.
It's funny, they'd like you to show up.